Two, one.
Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to the Darknet today. And this is Mook over here, and he's our
Greetings
GM.
all. This is Mook. Second game. Crazy days. This is here in Farmville. It's the name of this episode.
Yes.
Because that is where we're beginning.
Should we maybe go around and do who we are and our characters?
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's recaps to be done. I actually had some questions for you guys as well, if you could knock those out.
Okay.
One thing was, because I was reviewing the video, getting ready for this game, and at the beginning of the first episode, Hex, you were in the Nexus. You were in the group lair. And Mr. Arachno, the Fixer, came physically to the lair to give you the details of the message of the job offer. And it occurred to me that I hadn't really cleared that with you guys, that he knows where your lair is. There's no reason that he would have to come physically. He could have done all that remotely. So I just need to know if you would rather your Fixer not know where you're based out. Or if you trust a little bit.
That's a good question.
Not since he found out where the lair is without us telling him.
What are you doing here, you little bad?
Well, I feel like I kind of forget. Did we? Okay, so he usually contacts Hex, Bill's character, and then Hex relays to us generally.
Us?
No, he normally he'll send
all
a blast to everybody.
Okay.
It's just that particular one was in the middle of the day,
Got
so the two of you were busy with school.
Right.
Hex, of course, had nothing to do, so he just logged in, took care of business.
Okay.
Maybe he knows where. Maybe there are 4 entrances to the secret lair, and we each have one. And maybe he knows where. He knows where the secret entrance is. If anybody who's okay with giving him the information as to where their entrance is. But that's all he can see when he goes in. Is there, because we have corners.
You do have corners and a loft.
And a loft.
Cool. So we'll do it that way. So he knows it depends on who he's trying to get in touch with as to which way he's in, or he only knows one way in.
Like, I think he knows one way in.
Like,
do
we have a guest entrance?
Guest door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's sort of a public door that leads to the
Like a murder box.
like a murder box.
Not like an actual murder box.
More like a murder foyer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Very nice. And the only other thing was one thing that a lot of people commented on was the lack of actual GURPS in the GURPS game, because I'm so used to just sort of translating things as we go and not really peeling back the veil. So I'll try to do a little more in terms of actual learning the game.
So it wasn't so much that there wasn't GURPS, it was that you speak GURPS so fluently that you just seamlessly translated the GURPS to everyone else.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
This is
I think that's
how
different
I
than there
run.
not being GURPS in GURPS.
True. Generally, I run the entirety of the rule set by saying, "So what do you do?" And that way, people they don't have to worry about numbers or modifiers or called shots. Or they just tell me what they're doing. But of course, that's not terribly helpful for the people who are like, "Oh, cool, a GURPS game. Let's tune in and see how GURPS works."
Right.
And then leave having no idea except roll 3d6 and get low.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty much all I know about it.
See?
That's my extensive knowledge of GURPS is roll 3d6. I actually didn't know get low. I forgot about that. So
You only had half the knowledge.
learn something new.
It's one of those things, like when you first start rolling, you're like, all right, oh, crap. No, I want low.
You want ones.
So
lots and lots of
excited
ones.
from playing like PBTA and like, all right, I got a big number. Oh, no. No.
Cool. So you guys want to go around and introduce your characters and who you're playing today and whatever else you'd like to share?
Sure. Let's start with Bill.
Okay, hi, my name is Bill, and I am playing Hex. Hex is a cyber ninja who looks way cooler than it described last episode, actually. I forgot that when I found artwork for him, He looks actually pretty bitchin', not just Joe Generic. Which I have posted along with his character sheet and some background information on the Happy Jacks forums.
Ooh.
So you should go check that out in the Darknet thread.
happyjacks.org/forum. Cool.
Nice.
Elspeth, do the thing.
Hi, I'm Elspeth, and I'm playing Jam. Jam is yeah, I am. Jam has wings and she can fly, and that's pretty much what she likes to do. That and steal things, and steal things that are worth a lot of money, and hang out, do cool, clubby things that maybe she's not old enough to really be doing.
Like, for sure, she's not old enough to really be doing. Like,
Oh,
for
come
sure.
on! I mean, I know what I'm doing, right?
Sure.
So should we talk about our meat space characters too?
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's entirely up to you. I think we decided that you actually don't really know much about one another's actual.
Right. Like none of us actually know
Right,
our
we
meat
don't.
space characters, but
Right.
our faithful viewers,
Yes.
listeners,
Yeah, by all means. Yeah.
We trust each other not to metagame.
yeah.
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 I'm Vendetta Thornhill, and I'm 16, and my dad is a super high level, super powerful politician, and I don't like the way his security crew follows me around, so I pretty much lock myself in my room every night and go do things that are more interesting in the zone.
And to backtrack, my real meat space character is Alphonse Camus, who is a paraplegic and not very rich and lives in the really slummy, bad part of the real world, and basically is an assassin for hire to raise enough money to get himself cybernetics.
How much is that anyway?
Way more than I have.
It's 9.
Yeah.
Tyler, that's me. I'm Tyler. I'm playing Bartholomew Barry Iverson in the meat space, but when he gets into the Nexus, he is Dr. Discord, who is sort of a jack of all trades utility guy. Kind of looks like Iron Man. Not even kinda. He absolutely looks like Iron Man, but with a palette swap. So instead of red and gold, he's black and red.
Nice. And I'm Kimmy. I am playing Aegis, however you want to pronounce it. And basically, I am the tankiest tank that ever tanked. I am a giant, metal suit of armor that is, no specific gender. You can't tell anything about it. I have a shield. I have no facial reactions to anything. I have a little bit of a robotic voice, which I still haven't found the little toy thing that sounds right yet, so I'm still looking.
There's an app for it.
There is, I know, but I'm trying to get it to work with my computer mic, and that's weird. And in real life, I am Stephanie Quimby. I am a elementary school teacher. And I just educate the children all day, and then go and just wreck shit in the net at night. Wreck it.
Are you elementary school or middle school?
Oh, I think we changed it to middle school.
I think you
didn't
changed
we?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we did change it to middle school because that's one of the reasons. That's right, because that's one of the reasons that I always have a face shield and I have my voice distorted because I didn't want if I ever accidentally run into any of my students' avatars in the net, I don't want them to be like, "Hey, you sound like my teacher." That'd be bad.
It could be awkward.
Yeah, so that's the reason I have the disad of disconcerting voice. Right. I will update that on my character sheet because I did not do it last time.
Does anyone have any questions from the first game? Any unfinished business? Anything hanging over? Nope, doesn't sound like it. All right.
Glad you're live, Tyler.
Yes, me too.
Almost didn't happen.
8 seconds left. Easy.
I trust you guys. I figured you guys would get it done.
You're
I was
lucky we
never worried.
Tyler's the one person who wasn't worried.
I got a diss ad that kind of doesn't let me be worried.
It was all going to be easy and fine until Kimmy said, "Hey, there's actually a clock
No. What? When are we going to learn that listening to me is such a bad idea? Like, don't listen to me.
So just a real quick review last week. So your fixer, Mr. Arachno, received a job, sent out the usual text to the four of you or the usual message. Eventually, y'all sort of met together in your lair, your little carved out code cave called the Nexus, and the three of you, except for Dr. Discord, showed up, and he wasn't responding to messages. So you went to the meeting without him at the Vertigo, big club downtown. James familiar with it; she's been there before, clearly. You hung out a little bit. You met Mortimer, who was your contact. He offered you a job as part of a sort of a contest. He had other groups were in the running.
Whoa.
You were not alone. Did we lose Elizabeth?
Uh-oh.
Wait.
Not really.
We have our
I'm
volume.
still
There
here.
it
There
is.
we go. Cool. And other groups had been dispatched to find and murder Dr. Discord. And you were charged with rescuing him, of course. This is all part of a test to see which of the groups is worthy of getting the actual jobs, the actual commissions. So you left the club. You made your way eventually to the defunctioning Farmville area, kind of in this crappy neighborhood. And there in a barn with a giant four-armed gorilla and some exploding snake torpedoes, you found Dr. Discord and managed to save him with mere seconds to go. So it was a successful outing. It was a good first adventure. So when the game picks up, you were still, that's right, you were still in the burning crater next to the barn of in Farmville. Dr. Discord, you are on the ground, but you're just now coming out of whatever unconsciousness, whatever is causing you to be out of it. You're now coming back around. And Mortimer is just sort of crouched down next to you, looking at you as he drinks this giant goldfish bowl with fighting fish in it. But it's just the five of you, the four of you and Mortimer.
Hey guys, what's up?
Well, you now.
What happened?
All the things happened.
That's super descriptive.
Do you have no
You
memory
were
of what's been
unconscious
happening?
in the building that is in that crater over there, and we saved you.
How did you get in that thing anyway?
Yeah, that was our bad, says Mortimer. My apologies for that, Dr. Discord. I personally wanted to kidnap Jam, but everybody wanted to go for you, so. But hey, look, they rescued you. You're fine. Now you guys are earning all kinds of money, credits. It's going to be fantastic. It's a very fruitful partnership coming up, guaranteed.
So, like, get yourself up and dust yourself off.
All right, stand up and brush myself. Was it really necessary to have people trying to kill me, though? Like, I get the whole kidnapping and rescuing thing to prove ourselves, but was the murder necessary?
No murder, attempted murder, possibly. I personally was so confident in you and your team's abilities. I wasn't worried for a second.
Uh-huh.
It is a
I
good
was
thing we
worried.
are such-
So, congratulations. You have earned your way to the next mission, should you choose to accept it. And he reaches into his little trench coat, pulls out a very familiar-looking manila envelope, and he just sort of dangles it in front of him. And
What does it pay?
the pay on this one is 50,000 credits. split however you choose to split. That's
There are
entirely
5 of us.
4.
There's
4.
4 of us.
Sucks.
That's right, because Mook's not actually in the game. Forgot.
So that seems reasonable. I try to get you a little more, but sometimes the employers, they can be a little stingy.
So you're just a middleman. I mean, no offense intended,
What?
but
Well, I mean,
I
I'm
mean-
not sure. I'm a very talented middleman. I suppose, yeah, I would go on.
there's nothing wrong with being a middleman. I mean, somebody has to do it.
It's been good for me. It's sort of a lot of the rewards, but at least half of the danger. So I like those numbers.
And just for context for us, what previous to this have our jobs been paying? Like, how does this compare?
You've done a few jobs that would pay about 10 grand each. So you've had the occasional, but that's where that's where he's starting. For most of your other jobs, that's been kind of the upper limit. So it is actually kind of a pay bump.
Right. We feel like we've just graduated. We've just leveled up.
That's right.
Okay, so what's this job?
Well, you know the rules. Well, actually, you don't because you were unconscious. But he's like holding the envelope and got 1 foot out the door. He's like, so I'm just gonna leave this here, but don't open it till I leave because remember that's cheating. But all the details that you need are inside. If you choose to decline the job, there's contact information in there so that you can reach me, and we will know that you have decided to not earn gobs of money for easy work.
What do you mean cheating? Is this another game?
No more tests. No, I just meant I like to be gone before you have any idea of what's going on. It's more of a personal preservation sort of thing.
Understandable. And acceptable.
And so he's looking around at this like Farmville place with all these decommissioned pieces of software and things just kind of hanging. He says, I don't know if any of you ever played Farmville, the game, way back when it was popular, but it was kind of a terrible game. You go here and collect this thing and bring it to me and then go and do this other thing. Unfortunately, that's exactly the kind of offer I'm making you now. The employers have things that they need done that they don't have the skills to do. And they have things that they need amassed because they have big plans. They really want to shake things up. They got things going on, but they need talented runners like yourselves who have the abilities to do things that they can't get done.
Mortimer, you've just described every job ever.
This is true.
Pretty much.
However, the 4 of you really seem to have this unique. Each of you has access to some kind of just crazy, off the scale technology.
Would you like some popcorn to go with that butter?
I would never. I am completely sincere when I say the technology that you've stolen or borrowed. I apologize from
Acquired.
Acquired. Ooh, I like that. That's much better. The technology you've acquired is kind of crazy stuff. Like, I mean, Hex, you just come and go as you please. They can't track you. That's insane. The corporations, I have to tell you, they don't like that. They are really upset that there is an anomaly in the system and that you were able to just sort of come and go and they can't track you. And teleporting across the thing, if you hadn't had that, I'm poor Discord might be disfigured or worse by now. The chameleon suit and the armored suit, yeah, you guys are great. You're awesome. I got your back.
You're selling this really hard. I'm scared about what this job is. I mean, we can handle it.
Of course.
We can
Sure.
turn it down if we don't like it.
You can absolutely turn it down.
So,
All right, well, get out of here so we can open this envelope.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Good luck. And he just starts walking into the distance, not in the direction of the public transportation node, just keeps walking until he fades out of the horizon, leaving you alone in the burning remnants of Fromville.
how long do we stand there watching him until he disappears over the horizon?
He has to be gone. Or
It's
be a cheater. I am not a cheater.
it's maybe a minute and a half. Does Jam actually wait that long before grabbing up the envelope?
Yeah, because someone else is holding it.
Oh, fair enough. He just kind of dropped it on the ground when he left. He didn't hand it to anyone.
I don't think anybody picked it up. It's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there on the ground. Yeah.
I'm gonna reach down and pick it up because I'm sort of like worried that it's a trap of some sort. And if it's gonna explode or something, I'm probably the best person to pick it up.
Yeah, I'm going to listen real hard for whether it makes that same noise that the things made next to Dr. Discord's nice little beer in the barn there.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
idea. Aegis, are you waiting until he's gone, or are you waiting until he's just away?
Yeah, if it's only a minute. I'm
Yeah.
a patient giant mech thing. So
Fair
A
enough.
patient giant mech thing.
that's my thing. So
So he disappears. Elspeth, roll perception to see if you hear anything untoward.
I do. Perception by 4.
Nice. So it's apart from the crackle of the flames around you, there's not a lot going on, and you feel pretty confident that there's nothing dangerous about to happen, or at least not anything that leaves an audible. So inside, once you open up the data, Aegis, there are packets inside. There's a map. There is indeed contact information for Mortimer. So now you can contact him directly should you ever feel the need. The mission seems to be a more or less simple retrieval. There's some data. It's in a corporation hard vault, and someone needs to get in and grab it and bring it back out. Something that you have probably many times before. Although this corporation seems pretty, they take their security seriously.
What's
I mean,
the
well,
name?
obviously we're going to do this, right?
yes.
Okay.
Is there anything beyond this just one thing, break into the vault and steal this thing?
That seems to be he seems to be on a need to know basis.
And then bring it to, is there someone to bring it to? Is there,
He actually suggests that you bring it to your table at Vertigoga.
that sounds like a bad idea.
It is a public place.
Oh, that table. Oh, we get to go back to the club?
Yes, you can go back.
Oh, we have to go back
Go
to the
back to the
club.
club now, thanks very much. But, yeah, okay.
What's the? Are you like sharing the file out, Aegis?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Disseminating info.
Cool. So that's easy enough. So like little trails of data kind of stream, and you've all got. The name of the corporation is DataNet Archive and Protection Services. There's a map, but it doesn't seem overly detailed. It seems like probably their publicly accessible map, like from their corporate site or something.
Okay.
And there is just a long string of alphanumeric characters to indicate which file specifically you are being paid to procure.
Okay.
So it really does seem like a pretty simple job for 50K.
Is it a physical vault?
It is not a physical vault. It is it's in the zone, so it's virtual. So you're basically going to be hacking into it. Except hacking when you're in the zone entails actually like scaling walls and doing spy stuff, whatnot.
A little more hands-on.
A little more hands-on.
More hacking and less hacking.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I do not know how much time you all have now. It is. How long has it been since we started and got to the end of saving Dr.
Oh,
Discord?
good question.
Like, what's meat space time?
It's probably been maybe a half hour. It hasn't been very long at all.
Okay.
Once the barn came down, he woke up pretty fast.
No.
Like since because we
Oh,
got contacted, came in, went to Club Vertigo, had the fight with the cowboy.
oh,
man.
gotcha.
Like-
My bad. It is approaching probably midnight out in the real world, and you got the message early afternoon when class was still in session. So it's been probably 10, 12 hours, something like that.
So is it a weekend or is it a?
I think it was a Wednesday, as I recall. Yeah, that's right, because it was the middle of the week. That's why you guys were in school.
Yeah.
I would suggest we choose a time to convene.
Here, can we do this tomorrow?
There doesn't seem to be any instructions like, hey, this is critically fast. Make sure you do the, there's no deadline. Basically just gives the deets and where to bring it.
I think tomorrow sounds fine.
Good choice.
What time shall we meet at the Nexus? I can be there pretty much whenever.
As early as possible, so we'd have plenty of time to complete this job tomorrow evening. We should do it in one fell swoop.
I can be there by like 6.
I like 6. Let's do 6.
Very well.
6 it is. I disappear. I like that jacket.
Boom.
Bill, will you scoot to your left? There. Okay, good.
Like that.
Now you're in frame again.
Can't see her too.
Yeah, R2's there.
Move R2. Bring R2.
No, it's okay. He's fine. He's there.
Yeah.
Swimming man.
There you go. Just do that every time. Nice. All right, so we make plans to reconvene the next evening
Right.
and go back to our mundane lives.
No.
And whenever I jack out, oh, by the way, whenever I jack out, you see that like shinobi puff of smoke, that
Nice.
super cheesy ninja disappearance.
So Hex, is there anything you would like to do as Alphonse in your real persona before tomorrow evening's meet?
Yes, I will do the best I can to make sure my house is secure, since I live in Badsville. And if I can do any research on DataNet archive and protection services.
Sure. Give me a research roll.
Okay.
You have research?
I have research.
Excellent.
So I have research at a 13. So I'm going to roll 3d6.
Indeed.
Under that, because that's how GURPS works.
13 or less. Yep.
11, 12. Let's see. Wait, no. 6, 9, 11.
Cool. So you made it by 2. So let's see. DataNet archive and protection services don't seem particularly noteworthy. They're not a military contractor. They're not any sort of like high-tech research. They seem to specialize mostly in tracking data and numbers for the corporations. Census stuff, data flow, electoral rolls, census, all kinds of. If it's a giant pile of numbers, they're happy to crunch it, analyze it, and store it for you securely, of course.
Cool. That's what I'm doing.
Cool.
And sleeping.
Of course. Let's see, Vendetta. How are you spending your evening, day before the
Well,
meet?
I'm gonna listen to some new tunes that I downloaded, and I'm gonna go to school, and I'm gonna spend about half my school time just looking up some stuff on this DAPS, and also sort of nosing around to see if I can find any sound files of what bombs sound like when they're about to go off. Maybe I'll be familiar with it next time.
As you do. So if you also would like to give research, you might make it more than, let's see, does Vendetta
I don't think I have research.
You do not. You can still roll. It would be at default, so it'd be much harder, but you never know. The dice are crazy that way.
Yeah.
So what's default?
Default for research is, I believe, IQ -4. So you'd be rolling at you want a 9 or less.
I have to get it below a 9. It's going to be difficult. But I know, yes, I roll an 8.
Nice. So you made it by 1. Alphonse had made it by 2. So you learn pretty much independently the same sort of thing that he did. What they do, what they specialize in, and the fact that they're otherwise seem not particularly noteworthy.
That's convenient.
Yes. And the bomb sound file, you can get those easily anywhere. You don't even have to roll.
That's more disconcerting.
Barry, how are you spending your evening?
Well, my evening, I'm just going to go to bed because I got to be to work early tomorrow.
Sure.
But at work the next day, under the guise of potentially scouting new services for my company, I'm going to look into the company that we are going to be stealing from.
Okay.
And see if they have, like, I might give them a call and basically pitch myself as a representative of my current company, and we're interested in their services, and could they tell me a bit about their company and their possible, like, do you have any clients that I could talk to about for a recommendation, things like that?
Okay. Let's see. What would that be under? Let's go with diplomacy.
Well, I have some of that.
See, yep, seems within the wheelhouse.
So SL is the number I got to get below, right?
Correct. Yes,
right.
you need a 14 or less, not including any modifiers or whatnot.
11.
Made it by 3. So you contact this very nice human resources, or no, public officer for the company, who is more than happy to answer all of your questions. Her tone seems extremely chipper, and she seems to have a encyclopedic knowledge of the company. So it occurs to you that she might actually be some kind of program and not an actual person that you're talking to. But she's happy to provide you with all sorts of mundane information about the company, including a few clients that you can call.
All right. I will thank the program for her help.
She wishes you a lovely day.
And I'll call a couple of the clients and see, you know, what they recommend about the company. Have they had any problems with the company?
Cool. So the 2 corps that you call, there's no red flags at all, as far as you can tell from talking with these other corporations. DAPS, and thank you for that, Elspeth, because I was driving me crazy. DAPS is completely mundane. They've never had a breach that the corporations are aware of. They basically just run seamlessly in the background as they should, and have never had any problems.
Never any kind of security breach or leak no.
Not a single one ever in the history of the company. Which, yeah.
That could be really good for us or really bad for us.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be total bullshit.
It could also be total bullshit. All right, I will. I'll just continue my work for the day and then just work until it's time for us to meet.
Cool. Stephanie, how are you spending your time?
I'm not going to do any research because I know them well enough to know that they're probably going to do it. So I also actually have to interact with children all day. So I can't, like, everyone sit quietly while I do something else. No,
You can't just put on a movie?
no, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually probably a fairly good teacher. Not great, but fairly good. So
World's
yeah, I'm just going to
okayest
do my
teacher.
job. I'm going to go to bed right after the thing and get up and go to work and do my job and grade a few papers in my prep period and head home. Maybe take a nap after I
Sure.
head home before we meet at 6 because I get home probably at like 3:34.
Cool.
Bell rings and you're out of there.
For tonight, yeah, absolutely. I've got a thing tonight.
So 6 o'clock rolls around. You've finished all of your tasks, and presumably all log in and meet in the Nexus. And describe your little corners again, if you could. Aegis, remember you had a loft. That's about all I. You have like a second floor ring that runs around the Nexus, yeah, with all your gear and whatnot.
I'm sorry.
Ages.
We're talking to me. I missed
Yeah, my bad.
Okay. Sorry, I was looking at my character sheet trying to figure out what to do tonight. No, mine's like super utilitarian. Like it's literally just like a platform. I think there's like a little bit of like a tool, like one of those big tool chests, but I don't think it probably even has tools in it because I don't work on myself. I just
Right.
am how I am. But I think it's sort of like garagey, but like all like stainless steel looking.
Cool.
Because I don't sit down on things. I stand on my platform. That's my thing.
How about Hex? What's his little area?
Mine's like a dojo, so I have a practice dummy where I can work on hand-to-hand combat and sword combat and things like that.
Nice.
And a tatami mat and things like that. So very heavily Japanese inspired.
Cool. Jan, what's your little area look like?
Oh, mine's full of cool pods for listening and watching stuff, and one for just sort of hanging out, and also a cool giant wardrobe pod, and it sort of looks like the interior of that white spaceship in 2001: A Space Odyssey, only with actual music in it that nobody can hear outside my corner.
Very nice. Just a quick question. Would you say that the other avatars are probably aware that you're super rich because like all of your shit is really expensive?
We're not dumb.
I don't know. I don't know if we've discussed it. I
Right.
don't really think about what people think of me.
I guess what I meant was your stuff is really expensive, right? Like you don't take any pains to try to hide the fact that you buy top-notch software and goods.
No, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, not at all. Cool. What's your Dr. Discord? What's your little corner look like?
It kind of looks like Tony Stark's workshop from the Iron Man films, but also like Doc Brown's garage from Back to the Future. It's kind of like those two things mashed together.
Nice. So you all at various times log in from your little areas, and you are all together now at roughly 6 in your Nexus.
Well, it is time to make money.
They do not appear to be a very well-known or connected to the military type of company. Perhaps this will be easy.
Oh, I bet it's not going to be easy, because nobody pays for anything easy.
Especially this much.
They just do it. They'd hire, I don't know.
I spoke to some of the other clients of this company, and they said there's never been a data breach that they are aware of.
Hmm.
Really, they keep that shit pretty well hidden then, huh?
So either the company has kept it very well hidden when it has happened, or it's never actually happened. But maybe it's never actually happened because they don't store anything of great importance.
I will rescind my previous comment. I believe this is going to be quite difficult.
Obviously, whatever is in the vault is very valuable
To someone.
to someone. This is true.
It seems that all they do is track data and numbers and census and electoral rolls and anything with large numbers they will crunch and store, apparently very securely.
Is there a name on that file they gave us again? Or is it just like a hex key?
It's just a hex key.
How many digits?
It's long, probably dozens, approaching 50.
Hmm.
And there is a note in the mission plans that rather comically politely asks you to not look in the file. Just please retrieve and bring it to us. But do not look at the contents. But it's not said in like a threatening way or even like, hey, this is a deal breaker. It's just like, hey, could you please not look in the file? Are
we trying to recover somebody's dick pics or something?
It's possible.
That wouldn't be the first time.
It would not.
For me, but you know.
Please don't look at the file.
I don't care what the file is. If they're paying us for it, we will do it. Did any of you get any information that will be helpful for tonight's endeavor, other than the map from their website? Okay.
I have reported the output of my research.
Wait, the map is just from their website?
It seems to be pretty much limited to the publicly accessible stuff, yeah. So like basically on one of the lower levels, there's just a big rectangle that says like data vault, but there's no real details on how to access it, what kind of security you're looking at, that sort of thing.
Can I roll against zone area knowledge to see if I know anything more about the area where that vault is?
Sure.
So I'm area knowledge the zone at 13.
13, okay.
Yeah.
13 or less.
And I roll a 7.
Ooh, very nice.
So I
made it by 6. Jeez. Well, what am I gonna do with that? So zone knowledge is more just like random tidbits, like background stuff. And so while you're researching and not really finding a whole lot online, it does spur something in your mind, and you remember maybe a year ago, you had this little running buddy that you would run across every now and again. You'd both be doing similar jobs. You know, you hung in the same circles. And he went to work for, you're pretty sure it was DAPS. And then that was it. He just, you literally never heard from him again. It's like he disappeared off the face of the zone.
Huh.
He got the job, he told you about it, he was excited, and then poof.
Awesome.
I should have been more excited about his getting a job, I guess. Huh. Did I ever try and look him up?
I don't know, did you?
I might have. I actually keep an eye out for people I know because you do.
Yeah.
I would have looked in the usual places, at least to see if I didn't hear from him. I'd check on. I might not contact him, but I'd look to see if he'd posted anything in the usual places.
Sure. So most runners have kind of three identities, right? They have their meat identity that most people don't really know, because why would you tell people who you are in the real world when
Exactly.
it's much, yeah.
Yep.
Most legit citizens have two identities, the second one being whatever their avatar is. Runners have sort of this, criminal identity that isn't really tied, presumably, to either of the other two. So you did not know this guy's meat identity,
Right.
and you didn't know his legit identity. You only knew his sort of criminal runner avatar, and that just completely dried up. You poked around a little bit. You talked to other people, and no one really seemed to know what his legit avatar was.
Right.
So there was just kind of a dead end. It's like he retired and just burned to the ground all of his avatar stuff that you had any connection to.
Weird. Okay. Yeah, then I will say, I used to know a guy. He did some of the same kind of work we do. And he went to work for these guys, and then, I never heard from him again. And it wasn't because he was a dick. He was actually okay. But he just kind of went gone.
Did he maybe just stop doing jobs because he was making
did he go
enough money?
straight? I'd love it if that's what this game became. We all just get jobs at this place.
Corporate climb.
That happened to me in a Unknown Armies game. We all got jobs at a fast food restaurant.
No. He didn't seem, I don't know, he seemed really excited about the job. But it didn't seem like it was going to make him, legit quit forever rich. If there is such a thing.
Then we should beware.
Whoever gets
Not from a job like that.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe that is a way for us to get in, to get jobs, and then we would be on the inside.
I don't think we can get jobs there tonight.
So I don't know that I don't think we could turn that around fast enough.
Perhaps there is a way we could get passes that
maybe we could
seem we have jobs.
Can we just bash the door?
Can I roll my zone wise to see if I might know a guy who could hook us up with some DAPS ID badges?
Sure. Geez, let's say -6.
Okay, awesome.
That seems like a pretty specific request and
Yes.
kind of a last minute deal. So
Absolutely. I have it at 13, so if I can roll a 7.
that's not bad.
No.
No. By chance, did you get a 17 or an 18?
No, I actually got 10. I
Okay.
made it, but only by 3.
So you're kind of running through your head. You do know a lot of folks. You have contacts, people to go to, but no one you can think of specifically connected to this particular corps.
Well, perhaps we should do reconnaissance on this facility.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, you mean go look at it?
Kimmy, was that your avatar or is that you?
That was my avatar, reconnaissance. I'm like,
Can we go? Let's go look at it.
I will go look.
Nice. So DAPS is in a office park sort of zone where there's just dozens and dozens of these kind of smaller corps come together, have their centers there. and it's not like, top of the food chain, like, oh my God, it's impenetrable, we'll never get in there. But it does have security at the zone border. So you're gonna need to either find a way in that doesn't require interacting with the people at the border, or a way to bluff them or trick them into thinking that you belong there. But the place itself is fairly close. Almost everything in the zone seems to be about 10 minutes away. That is kind of the default if you're taking the public transpo. So it's about 10 minutes away.
Out of curiosity, I'm just visually in this part of the zone, what's the sort of general look? What's the ambiance? Is it more sort of the bottom levels of the city in Fifth Element, or are we talking like an industrial park out on East 210?
It's more the latter than the former. It's not really meant for a lot of, it doesn't need to be pretty to the eye, because they don't really expect the public to go there. It's mostly just for workers and stuff. So it's basically just a long corridor of corporate buildings on either side, and then sort of a empty space, and then another corporation on top, and then an empty space. So it's very uniform. It's very gridded. It's built purely for efficiency and not necessarily human interaction.
Does it have a main door with a lobby?
Their building does, yes.
And are there other businesses like immediately next to it, like connected?
Not connected, but close. Like they'll share a fence, or some kind of security zone, but they're not actually abutting now.
I say we try to talk our way in. I say we should go and tell them we have jobs.
It is not my strength, but I agree with the looking first.
All right, looking first.
Telling them we have jobs there would probably be a bad call, because that's something that's easily
We
verified.
could tell them we were there to interview for jobs. No, that's easy to change.
Also easily verified. What we should tell them is that we're prospective clients.
I mean, like this kind of job, I know, but jobs.
If we tell them we're a prospective client, go ahead.
I would also think that perhaps we are not dressed like someone who works here.
Who knows what they look like, though?
What do the security guards look like?
So you've actually gone there? You've left the Nexus?
Oh, we're still discussing.
I thought this was all.
It is, no.
Okay, I guess we could
conversation,
get, visual images. Oh, okay.
They will not look like us. Or me.
How easy is it to change the appearance of an avatar? I mean,
it's not too bad. You could do a quick appearance change with just a straight computer hacking roll. But it has to be an avatar that has the computer hacking, not a character. If that makes any sense, because you're actually hacking inside the zone and not trying to hack your way into the zone.
Well, if we are prospective clients, I could be a bodyguard of a prospective client. That could work.
I could be a prospective client. I mean, anybody can be a prospective client.
Sure.
I think it is more believable that you are a prospective client.
I can stay outside and watch how the people that are there react to having someone show up and then come inside and look at the building, stay in the shadow.
They will most likely require some form of actual identification on someone who could be a prospective client.
Well, now that's tricky because avatars are all,
I would imagine that what they require is credits.
yes.
This is true. I will be the bodyguard.
Oh, so that brings up another outside, something we haven't discussed.
Sure.
So skills and knowledge aren't shared between Meat Space and Avatar. Are credits?
Yes. Yes, because you can share, you can link accounts and whatnot. So
Like PayPal.
you have right like PayPal, so you have access to your real world currency if you want in the zone.
And I could also make how to explain it? Make virtual cash out of my credits.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not my bank card, but that's, here's my gold press latinum.
Correct. Yes, you can get some sort of portable, probably like a USB stick or something with
Right.
creds.
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch, right?
Actual bitcoins.
Ching, ching, yeah. You have to actually carry them around in the net. That's annoying.
Giant bag.
Wow, you paid 50 points for wealth. So yeah, you're
Holy shit.
you can for some reason I thought you were only at the 25 point. Yeah, you have access to pretty staggering amounts of cash, so you can easily transfer any of that into.
So I've been saving up for a long time.
Sure.
To buy a country.
I just don't spend that much, honestly.
Sure.
Um,
Me
so
either, and I live in a shithole. Just saying.
okay.
Doctor, perhaps.
It just really depends on where you start is part of it too. That's what I'm saying.
Doctor, perhaps you could go in as her lawyer or advisor of some type.
That sounds about right.
Aegis, you could be my bodyguard, and Dr. Discord, you can be my long lost pal.
I like that. It was clever. It was good.
Yeah, I liked it. All right, then let us go.
So you leave the Nexus. As I recall, when you open the door to the physical layer, there's a corridor stretching in either direction. Now, last time you went to the left and you emptied into that massive food court where everything was on sale. Do you want the right corridor to lead to a different exit area, or do you want it to just come to a different point in the food bazaar?
Oh, there should always be more than one exit.
Yeah.
I suspected as much. So where would you like the right-hand corridor to come out as opposed to the food court?
I feel
Or
like
do
the
you wanna
other side
just-
of town somewhere, if we can.
Okay,
Just
so
so
far
we-
away.
Yeah, like just if that's on this side of town, then we'll have one on like the other side of the net or whatever. So it's like we can exit the place that'll be closest or closer to where our final destination is.
Cool.
Yeah, and someplace with a large open green space, so we're not too penned in if it becomes an issue.
Like that, yeah.
All right.
Like a giant public park.
Nice. Well, there's all kinds of zoos and parks and fields, and yeah. So you can absolutely, if we need details, we'll kick them in later. Cool. So you leave the Nexus, go to the right this time, come out in this field. There's the usual guest avatars, the default ones, the ugly ones, walking around. There's of course the custom jobs. Most people have 2 or 3 like little tweaks that they've managed to save up for. Then every once in a while, you just see someone whose avatar is like crazy, cool, expensive. Just whoa, what is that? They're out there too. So the public transportation on this side is hot air balloons. You sort of get in this thing and it whips you off to wherever you're going. So you, presumably wait in line and hop on the next one and boom, off you go. 10 minutes later, you arrive over. You sort of come down into another transpo junction right outside the zone that you're heading to. So maybe 200 yards from the transportation thing, you can already see the zone where this industrial park is. There's kind of a shimmering blue fence with arcing electricity kind of running up and down it constantly, very Tron-like. And at the place where the gate is, there's 4 guards, 2 on either side. They don't look, well, actually, unless you're gonna make a perception roll, I'm not gonna tell you what they look like. But they're there. They see you heading over. Assuming you're heading over, I suppose I shouldn't assume that. That's what you see from where you are.
Got it.
So I'm going to actively be staying outside, trying to see how the guards, the building, anything reacts if someone's coming in from the outside.
Okay.
I'll do that. And I'll be using all of my stealthy, shadowing, tracking, climbing, ninja stuff.
Cool.
To do that.
So let's see. So you want to get closer than where you are now, or do you just want to observe from basically 200 yards?
Close enough to where if shit went down, I could get in there without, fairly quickly.
Okay. In that case, give me a stealth roll. Yeah.
All right. I'm stealth at 16. 9, so by 7.
Made it by 7?
Yes.
Good Lord. Okay.
This
Nice.
is what I do.
Indeed.
Oh, can he just like hide
I
in my
speak
suit
and I
like he's
hide from
there?
things.
If I stand very still, I become invisible.
So Hex does his sort of hexy thing, and he just sort of creeps away from the group, and just kind of fades away. Like 1 minute he's there, and then 1 minute he's not.
Nice.
So you creep up. The guards appear to be completely oblivious to your presence. They are not aware of you at all, and so you get, say, 15, 20 yards away. You're close enough that, yeah, if anything happened, if you needed to boogie, you could make it in on that turn.
Perfect.
Cool.
And so you're waiting to see, if people show up or any kind of routine. The other 3 of you guys?
I will try that perception roll because I intend to go up and talk to these guys, and I'd prefer to know what they look like. I'm especially interested in whether it looks like DAPS has put money into the security guards' avatars, or if they look like they're just sort of like token mall cops.
Okay. Perception sounds good for that.
And I make it by 4.
Cool. So you watch them for a minute or 2, and it seems like 3 of them are just run-of-the-mill security avatars. They're pretty decent, but like you could totally take them in a fight. Like they don't worry you at all. But there is that 4th guy. He seems to be the commander of the gate. The other 3 defer to him. His avatar's bearing is a little more regal, and he seems to be. You recognize software running on his avatar, defensive stuff, weaponry that the other 3 do not have. He seems to be an actual legit threat if things were to come down to it.
So he's the guy to talk to. Okay.
He's the guy to talk to, right?
I'm gonna walk right behind her, like bodyguard style.
Right.
Like, I'm just gonna walk behind her, look intimidating.
Cool. Oh, we didn't. Did we change appearances? No, right? You
I
guys
didn't.
just you look
I
like you
didn't.
look. Yeah.
I'm a
Cool.
giant
I
suit
think
of
I
fuck
might
you
have
up armor.
changed shoes.
You what, Elsa? Sorry.
I might have changed shoes.
Of course. Yeah. I mean,
Did we decide on what we're going to call you? Jam? Do we just call you Jam for this?
oh,
Because if they're like, what are you doing here? I'm Miss Jam security.
I I think you could. Oh, fake names are such a hassle. They're hard to remember. Just say I'm her security.
Okay, there you go.
Dr. Discord, anything in particular?
Oh, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you. You're mute.
Sorry, I muted.
Oh.
No, I'm just walking next to Jam. I'm not armored, so I don't have the armor up.
Okay.
All right. I will just.
Crap.
Is it a door or a gate, or what is it? What's the gate look like?
Seems to be a gate.
Boundary look like?
Yeah, there's like where the four of them are standing. You can see kind of a crease in the gate, but there's no guardhouse or any lock or anything. It's just
right. And the gate, it's a gate. It's like how high?
The fence is probably 15 feet high.
Oh.
So yeah, and it seems like they roll open like a double door kind of deal.
Oh, neat. All right. So I'm ignoring my companions. I saunter up to the door and say to the guards, but addressing myself primarily to the commander. Hello?
Evening, ma'am.
I'm here to do business with your employers.
And who have you come to see?
We're here to see, and I'll give a name of somebody that I spoke with
Nice.
earlier in the day.
Very nice. I see. And do you have an appointment?
No, we have an open invitation.
I see. He's talking to you, but his eyes seem to mostly be on Aegis.
I'm silent. I'm just standing there.
Which is why he's watching you. In the he nods to one of the kind of underling guards, and he says, "My man will escort you to the building, and I hope you have a good evening."
Thank you.
So the gate sort of parts, opens up, and the underling guard just sort of turns and starts walking into the long rows of buildings.
Is the commander wearing like a name tag or anything like that?
It just says A. Rogers.
I'll make it very obvious that I'm noting his name and like badge number. It's something identifying about him, and I'll thank him.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the bodyguard thing where like I put my hand like in front of her for a moment, and I like walk in first and kind of look around, and then just like wave her in, and then let her walk in front of me again.
Nice.
I walk in, I look around. We're gonna walk down a long row of buildings. Does it look like a long walk?
It does actually look like an extremely long walk.
Do you have a people mover or something? I mean, I could obviously fly there, but my body
I understand.
and my friend here aren't so lucky.
You're in a bit of a rush. We can take care of that. And he puts his finger to his temple momentarily, and this trap door just opens literally 10 feet away in the ground. Kind of slides open. This tram like pops up on a platform and closes again, and it's just kind of puttering there. And he climbs in the driver's seat and waits for y'all to clamber aboard.
When it first opened and popped up, like I like put myself in front of her, and then like when I realized it was just a tram, then I like let her in.
This is the first time ever in my life in a game that a trapdoor is open and nobody is falling into it.
Yeah, right. I was like waiting for that. I was like, oh god.
That's the best.
Hex, so the three of them have gone in with one of the guards. Are you staying outside? Or are you going to try and somehow
No, I'm
make your
staying
way
outside.
Okay,
I'm the cavalry.
cool. Cool.
Godspeed, amigos.
So the three of
You
you,
have tequila and you didn't tell me.
Would you like some? You're drinking wine. I don't know if single malt goes with wine.
Oh no. If it were tequila, that would be different.
Yes.
There you go. I get you some gin.
That's okay.
I do like the shot glass.
It's all Darth all the time.
So he trams you down there, past building after building, until you finally come to this one that says DataNet Archive and Protection Services, has their logo. It has sort of two token plants on either side of the office door, but even though they're electronic, they're kind of droopy, and they clearly didn't spend very much money on them at all. And he stops the tram, goes to the door, and knocks on the glass of the door. And another security guard from inside comes and opens the door from the inside when he sees him. So they kind of mutter some words back and forth, and the guard from the gate wishes you a good evening and a productive meeting. And if there's anything we can do to make your stay more pleasant, please let us know. And he drives away.
Are we there just the three of us?
Just the three of you.
So I turn to the other two and say, so
And this guard.
If we actually get this guy, it's really dark, like there's no light at all anywhere.
It's pretty dark, but no, there's another guard here as well.
I see.
He sort of handed you off to the DAPS guard.
So it's been established in the previous thing that we have comms.
Yes.
Do we have to actually speak audibly to use them?
Damn good question. I'm going to say no, because you have the money to buy top of the line gear that doesn't necessarily require that. So I imagine you would have.
So I'm going to communicate to Aegis in the dock. So if this guy actually shows up, this guy you spoke to earlier, whose name you gave to the guard, and I've forgotten it because obviously he's unimportant. If he actually shows up, maybe I should know who he is.
No, you shouldn't. You're way more important.
Talk to him?
You are way more important than he is. You do not need to know who he is.
Great.
That's why you have a.
Now we're in. What we'd like to do ideally is get into a space where there are no employees and we're inside the building. Do either of you have any ideas on how to get rid of this guard who's, hanging out here with us doing absolutely nothing?
Well,
just to interject momentarily, this guard is clearly not any sort of actual security. He's more or less just there to greet people, be a secretary, and be helpful. Although he's wearing a security uniform, he doesn't seem particularly imposing. That's all.
I figure once our client services, whoever shows up, we ask him for a tour. You tell him that you're very important, and
well, I am.
Of course you are. We get them to show us where they store the data because we want to make sure you want to make sure it's secure. And if we still have a guard with us, Aegis takes them out. We get the file and we just run like hell. I'm still kind of
Well,
iffy
some
on that
variation
last half of the
no,
plan.
some variation of that is fair. I've seen that in a lot of places. That seems to work.
Just remember that whoever shows up, you are way more important than them.
I do not think she will have trouble remembering this.
Do your best to make sure they know as well.
Also not
I
going to
think
be a problem.
So he approaches the three of you as you're finishing this conversation, the silent conversation, and he greets you warmly. So, thank you for choosing DAPS for your data services. Hopefully, my name is Henry, and I'm happy to help you with any questions that you might have. We have promotional materials if you require any, and what sort of data were you looking to store with us? And he's kind of holding the door like, hey, come on in, guys. Be all friendly.
Oh, I think we'll be discussing that with our account representative.
Oh, of course. Of
And we
course.
walk through the door, ignoring him completely.
Okay. And that's how it is in Henry's life. So he lets the door.
I feel for this guy so much.
The three of you enter the lobby. It's a kind of marble floor, but you notice that the pattern repeats too frequently, so it looks this really cheap and shoddy. And there's a big island desk that he sits behind and does whatever Henry does when there's not people to talk to.
Oh.
And there's chairs, if you choose to sit, and there's two doors behind the desk that presumably lead further into the facility. So he goes back around the island to his little station. So what can I do for you today?
We're here to see. I thought we explained this out front. You guys have any communication? All right. We're here to see. You
The
said
guy.
his name and I don't remember it.
I'm not sure you even did say that.
We didn't tell this guy who we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We told him at
Right.
main security who we're looking for.
Does he have a name?
I'll let him know. We're here to meet with. I don't have a name, but
That's
Alex Frank.
give you the Alex Frangipani.
there you go.
Absolutely.
Of the Norfolk French panties.
Of the Norfolk French Cats.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Let me just call him down. Is he meeting you or?
We're
He said
expected.
Stop by, absolutely, anytime. He'd make sure we were taken care of.
I see. Okay. So he starts calling up some kind of directory on his console behind the desk, presumably to call down. I already forgot his name.
Alex Frangipani.
Alex.
Frangipani. I don't actually know what that is. but-
Frangipani is it's like a tart with I think apricots. It's like almonds and apricots.
Interesting.
I read it somewhere in a market once when I was, 12.
But
Anyway,
it came in handy.
It's a filling made from or flavored with almonds. It's Italian.
Nice.
yummy.
I totally heard French panty.
That's actually what I thought.
I totally went another direction with all of that. I was like, cool.
Wow, and you teach children.
Not that.
Yeah, I don't teach them that.
Probably the teaching children that would make you jump to that because they're always trying to get away with something.
So Henry kind of looks off into space for a moment, and you assume he is contacting Alex to come down and meet you, give you a tour, whatever it is you need Alex to do. Assuming nothing untoward happens in the next 60 seconds, Alex will come through the door and see the three of you standing there. Says, "Hi, I'm Alex French Panties." I can remember. How may I help you this evening? I understand you're looking to possibly do some business with us.
Yes, we're interested in your data storage facilities and in using them
Of course,
to
of
store
course.
very important data.
Well, that is our specialty. We are proud to say we have never once had a data breach of any sort.
Can you tell me exactly how that came about? How that is?
Oh, sure. And he launches into this sort of industry speak about redundant layers and encryption, and he clearly unaware of your technical prowess. He's just giving sort of the layperson's version, and it's mostly just buzzwords. None of it really addresses anything specific. He's just basically giving the spiel that he gives to everyone.
Yes. I've kind of semi-tuned out about halfway through what he's saying, and I'm looking at I'm looking at well, honestly, the music player in my hand. But is there anything special about your technology that makes it so that there's a reason why I shouldn't give business to your competitors instead? I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I'll throw back a condensed version of what he just said with 3 buzzwords that he didn't use.
Okay. So he seems surprised, and he falters a little when answering. He says, "Oh, well, I mean, part of our security features are actually our anonymity. We don't necessarily tout our perfect track record to just anyone. It's a invitation referral sort of business model. So we like to have our clients refer other clients, and simply by virtue of keeping our name out of certain circles, we are able to provide top-notch security. In addition, of
You
course,
win at all the games because you mostly hit softballs.
that is one way to put it. Yes, that
All
is.
right.
So you've never been hacked because no one knows you exist to hack you.
Yes.
It's interesting.
However, we do also have state-of-the-art security, encryption, redundant blah blahs.
Can you give us a tour of your facilities before we? Well, actually, we really do need to see that your facilities are secure before we put some of this data in your trust.
Oh, of course, that makes perfect sense. If you can get your IDs ready and follow me, we'll just head on further into the facility. And he turns and walks.
I'm going to
What kind of
assume at
ID?
some point we've used fake IDs before.
Absolutely.
We probably
yeah.
have those.
Yeah, I don't see why you would not have easy access. Well, maybe not easy, but certainly frequent access to burner IDs and whatnot.
Okay.
So let's see. So somebody doesn't matter to me who give me a computer hacking roll from
1, 2, 3, not it.
from your meat person
From
to
meat person.
cover the putting together of the fake ID.
I knew I forgot a certain skill.
Oh no, was it hacking? Damn
It's
it.
hacking.
I have it.
Well, now we
I
know.
have 8 goddamn points in diplomacy.
I have it, but I don't have it very high.
That's better than I've got.
In meat space, I have computer hacking at 11.
We got you got an 11. We got a 12 and a 12. So yeah, they're all pretty much bunched around.
Yeah. So for the
Maybe we need to rethink
actually
this.
for me, I'm kind of new to GURPS. I don't even know how good that is or isn't good, but that's all the points I put into it.
11 will succeed just over more than half the time, assuming no
Okay, well,
modifiers. So
I'm gonna try.
Your average roll on 3d6 is going to be 10.5.
yeah.
But I'll give it a try. All right.
What could go wrong?
And oh yeah, it's fine. It's an 8.
See, there you go. So you made it by 3, which is good. So just so you know, had you not made it by 2 or more, there would have been some issues. But since you made it by 3, it doesn't matter. So you, of course, beforehand, at some point during the day, or even weeks, months ago, whatever, set up fake IDs to be used, and so that's what this role is covering. And apparently, you did it very well. You're a confident hacker. So he goes through this thing. He puts a thumb over a sensor, assuming that you will do the same. Little green light kind of lets him in. And you notice these 2 ball turrets up in the corners of the rooms, just over the security. There's nothing on them. They're just balls in housing, but they do stick out. They don't seem to be part of the original building.
Those are probably going to shoot at us.
Entirely possible.
Well, it depends on whether we earn it.
So who's going to run their thumb first?
Oh,
I'll go first.
All right. So Dr. Discord walks up, runs his thumb. It hesitates just a half second longer than his took, but then the light turns green, and you go through the little gate area. Who's second?
I think I'm second because Aegis is always right behind me.
Sure. Cool. So you do the same, and it also turns green. No problems at all. And Aegis bringing up the rear. All 3 of you make it through security.
I'm gonna look at my thumb, which is armor, and look at the thing.
I'm just assuming that digits have a port for the.
I'll do that. I'll do it. It works.
Data ID. Yeah.
I mean, this is all a simulation anyway, so you could probably press your armored thumb to it and it would still register because you're just
right.
sending data from one spot to another.
Yeah. But I was just thinking my thumb's probably really large. Try not to I'm trying to fit it on the little scanner thing without breaking it. Okay.
You do actually.
Is she pretty cramped? It's pretty cramped in here.
Yeah, I was going to say you are actually a little unlike the club, which was made for all shapes and sizes.
Wow.
This place is geared towards quote unquote normal humanoid shapes and sizes. So you're having to duck a lot, kind of scoot around things, but obviously you can make it work.
I'm used to it. Yeah. Cool.
Mook, are you just drinking Tanqueray? What was that?
It's Gatorade.
Oh, all right. I was damn.
Hardcore, man. 2 p.m. in the afternoon, pounding the Tanqueray.
Please enjoy your little shots. Like Tanqueray.
Yeah.
At this point, before we go any further, I'm going to attempt to combat to Hex and say, hey, I don't know where you disappeared to, but do you want in on this? We just got through security and we're going to go on the tour. And if you want to go with us for any reason, we could probably get them to stop at this point, and wait for you if I told them to. But since I haven't got the ghost of an idea where you are, I don't really know if you're into that. So let me know within the next 5 seconds if you're in.
I am outside the building, making sure that there are no surprises that follow you in. And I have been reconnoitering. So if there's anything unusual about the building, I'm spending time while I'm out here.
So you're still on the outside of the fence, right, leading into all the buildings. So the building that they're in, the DAPS building, is way the hell down there.
Oh, so I'd have to get past these guards.
Correct.
Okay. I think I would probably have been doing that. Once they're there, and these guys appear to not be connected with once they get handed off, then I need to get closer in. Right.
Cool. So So you have spent good amount of time kind of puttering down to this building on the tram and whatnot. So that gives you an awful lot of time to work with, a good few minutes. So after they've gone through, the gates close. Then a delivery kind of tram comes up, and they check off some data stuff. They open the gate, and
I'll go in and like get under the
the old under the tram. Nice.
the old under the tram trick.
Nice.
Give me a stealth roll, please. Get on over there without being seen.
Very Spider-Man of you.
Now the way
7, 8 by 8.
good lord, yeah, it's just insane. But good for you. So the way the way stealth works in GURPS is margin of success, right? So you roll your stealth, you made it by 8. The
Jesus.
only one of the 4 that I'm rolling his perception is the guard who's actually like on the ball, because he's and he made it by 5, which is pretty damn good. Like
That's great.
yeah, but it's not an 8. So he's on the ball, he's cagey, he's alert, but you're just that good, and so you kind of boogie over and you get under the tram, and the tram goes in. So you are now past the gate. From there, it's so sparsely populated in terms of like roving. There are a few patrols of security, but there's so few. It's you don't even have to roll to get to the DAPS building. So yes, indeed, you can be right outside the DAPS building when all this is going.
Right. So I'll communicate that I am immediately outside the DAPS building, and should they need to call for reinforcements because your subterfuge has been exposed, then I will deal with it.
Okay. Alright,
Hex, give me a perception roll if you don't mind.
Nope.
Sure.
Always
That's
good when the
rough.
GM says that.
Let me know if you make it by 4 or more.
I did not. I made it by 2.
So inside the building, the 3 of you plus the plus Alex are going further into the facility, and now he's still giving the spiel. He's throwing out all kinds of information. He says, "So, is there any place you'd like to start in particular? Is there any place that you would like to see?" We have the analysis wing. We have the data storage.
well, what's the most interesting?
Personally, I find the analysis of data to be sublime, beautiful even. And that's where I spend much of my day.
You should probably take us to data storage.
Take us to data storage, nerd.
Wow.
That's the
Just
best.
Leaving broken hearts behind. Left, right, and center.
Oh man.
So he legit seems a little crushed by that.
Aw.
He's a little.
I mean, I don't mean anything by it, but
Of course.
But really, since what we're looking to do is store data.
Absolutely. He recovers quickly. He puts his corporate face back on. He says, "Oh, of course, absolutely, yes, I can take you."
But
to
I'm sure it's a perfectly fine place to spend your days.
It is actually. Thank you.
It's a perfectly fine.
I'm sure for someone like you, it's a great place to spend your day. So he takes you to an elevator bank, puts his thumb over the thing. Elevator door opens. He ushers you in, and down you go. Now you notice from the panel,
It's very far down here.
yeah, it seems like it goes down for a long ways.
No, I mean, I say that.
Oh, he said, yes, we find if we limit each level to a single client's data, it's much easier logistically to keep track of things and provide security.
Is there like an elevator ticker telling you how many levels you go down?
Yes. You currently you're at like negative 32, and it's still ticking negative 35, negative 40. And when you get to negative 57, it stops and the doors open. And he says, "This is the first of our levels to be unoccupied." So I thought I would show you this.
Why you are selective if you only have 56 clients?
Well, no, there are more below us, but this one was cleared
Oh,
out,
all right.
yeah, a few weeks ago. We just haven't replenished, but hopefully you'll move right in, and you can be our new number 57.
What do you do with the data when you're not using it anymore?
That's up to the client. We can either recycle it for them, destroy it on site, provide proof of destruction. They can come and actually watch us purge the data if they want to be really hands-on, or we can just return all the originals that they originally provided.
All right.
So the area is basically just a wide open area with computer banks that represent actual data that would be held here if there was anything going on. But you don't see any cameras. You don't see any. There doesn't seem to be any security in place other than the fact that you're 57 levels below.
What do the rooms look like? What does it look like?
Apart from the computer banks, it's literally just a big empty. Like if you were to go to a skyscraper that's under construction and
Right.
like none of the walls are in, it's just like this level. It's kind of like that. It's just a big floor.
And are there visible? It's a big computer bank. What sort of? Are there? Is it live? Are there?
They seem to be dormant right now. They're just kind of sitting there. They seem to be going for some kind of like retro feel because they have like spinning tape, and obviously they don't use spinning tape, but they're going for a certain vibe here. And so there's lots of blinking lights that aren't blinking, but they presumably would be if there was data in there knocking around.
Huh.
But yeah, there's no guards here. There's no surveillance that you can see. It's just the computer banks.
I'm gonna look around. So where do you keep the copies?
The copies?
Yeah, you call yourself data storage, but you've got no emergency replication.
Oh, of course.
No
Backup.
where do you keep them?
Backup is definitely part of our services. Should the client choose to do that, that is kept in an entirely separate facility in a different area of the zone to ensure that should one site go down, they won't both be compromised.
I'm going to actually ping. I'm pointing at you on my. That's brilliant. I'm going to actually ping Dr. Discord. Do you have any idea where this backup might be?
No, that's not public information.
That's a pity because that seems like it'd be a lot easier to just get it from there.
They probably have the same security there that they do here. I'll ask Alex. So when our data is stored here, who has access to that?
It will be myself or whichever account manager you ultimately end up with, whichever employees that you yourselves whitelist as having access, and that's it. There's no back doors. There's no other way of getting in. We don't have any kind of administrative override. Once it's in the system, we're completely blind to it. So you can store anything here privately, away from prying eyes, and that's just fine with us.
Is the fact that we're storing it anonymous? I mean, does anybody know? Who knows that we are your client? Who knows behind your client?
If you choose the premium package, all transactions are anonymous and will not be publicly listed. Of course, you pay a little extra for that perk, but most clients find it worth it.
Sure, publicly listed, but privately listed. How many people in your company actually have access to the list of whose data is stored where?
We actually use a double blind system. There are two lists of clients and data, but no employees will have both halves of the pair. There will only be either the client or the data, but not both.
I don't get it. How does that work?
Well, when you come to the facility, you will have your unique identifier.
Yeah.
And so you are able to access your data, but we will not. The only exception to that being your account manager in case there's a problem with the data. And honestly, if you want to pay a small surcharge, you can actually remove the administrator account manager privileges entirely and just interact directly with the data yourself. We would give you credentials to get into the building, and then you pretty much just be on your own. But if there's ever any sort of data breach or problem and we can't reach you immediately and we need to take care of it, we won't be able to. So you may be
Right.
I
mean, it's just going to drop me off in a room just like this one, and I'm going to do whatever I do here.
Yes, exactly. It's sort of like a safety deposit box.
Yeah. That sounds very safe, but not very full service.
Well, we have an exhaustive menu of options and upgrades. We're here to
Can I
serve.
see that list?
Oh, of course. And so he calls up some promotional materials with all the fees, which seem to add up pretty quickly. But they do seem pretty full service.
I have a question out of character.
Hmm.
What kind of safeguards does the zone have against like kidnapping? So when my character was held captive, what's to stop me from just logging out?
Normally, if you lose consciousness in the zone, the default is that you will log out. Or if your avatar loses consciousness, my apologies. You can change that setting in your preferences so that if your avatar falls unconscious, you stay logged in, but normally you would get auto booted. Now that did not happen to you, so either your settings are set to keep you logged in or they did something funky to keep you logged in while you were unconscious.
Has this been open mic, or did you turn your mic off after you talked to me?
Probably left it on.
Yeah,
Can I still hear them?
yes. Yep, you're aware of what's going on.
Okay. You should ask what the unique identifier is. Perhaps that is the hex code we have.
Oh. So what kind of unique identifier do I use? Is it just my name, or, is it are we back at thumbprints?
We have guidelines for choosing your own unique identifier, best practices, that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, you can make it anything you like. As
What,
simple.
goldfish or?
It can actually be an avatar or some piece of virtual gear. If you wanted your account keyed to your pet goldfish avatar, you could actually do that, yes. But you would have to bring the goldfish with you every time you wanted to access your data.
And what would I do with the goldfish? I mean, I show the goldfish to the guy at the door.
Oddly enough, yes. And he was
goldfish. The fish.
Shut up. It has nothing to do with the fish.
and he would scan it, and that would match it with your account, and he would show you to level 57, which would then prompt you again to read the fish to allow you access to the data.
Interesting. So any guard can scan any unique identifier.
Yes.
X, you haven't been in here yet.
No.
You've been listening to this, right? If you come
Yes.
to the door and say you're here to access your account and show them that unique identifier, does it sound to you like they'll take you to the floor where this data is stored?
Perhaps. I can try.
Now, I can't do it because I just asked all these questions.
I am willing to try.
Do you feel comfortable with that? Because, never mind, you never feel comfortable. All right.
Let's see.
I'll go to the door.
And I will ask these other two. Guys, does that sound...
I think that's one of the best ideas we have so far.
All right.
I'll leave my comm open and I'll go to the door.
Okay. So you stride forward and knock on the door, and Henry comes from behind the island and opens the door, and he looks back and forth like he's looking for another guard.
I have come with my identifier and wish to access my files.
Oh, I see. Were they busy at the gate, or?
I have certain premiums.
I see. Well, please come on in. And he holds the door open for you.
I'll walk in. You hold the door well.
Thank
I
you.
compliment you on your work.
I appreciate that. I do try to give my best. So how can I help you today, sir?
I require access to my files.
I see. And do you have your identifier?
Yes. And I look for some pad to type in the hex number.
Cool. So yeah, there's all kinds of ways of entering data here. So you put in this humongous alphanumeric, and it lets off a pleasing little chirp, and it basically just gives him a number, a level number, which you notice is 103. And
all right.
He says, "Oh, level 103. That's deep security. Well done."
Yes. Well, I have premiums.
Listen.
I have premium.
It's what Alex said. I'm just like. Plus, Tyler, you weren't here. One of my quirks is that I am socially awkward. So pretty much, I just figured this is what I have to say.
So he leads you back to the one of the doors behind the desk, and down the short corridor to the elevator.
Right. And I would have said when he said that, I would have said like, yes, level 103, very secure, just so they would make sure that they would hear it.
Now, as you're walking to the elevator, you notice that little sort of security strip across the floor that everyone ran their thumb across.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a IQ roll, please.
If anyone tries to stop you, say, "Do you know who I am?" And when they say no, say, "Good, I pay a lot of money to keep it that way."
IQ is a 12. Nope.
Uh-oh.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. So it does not occur to you as you walk towards the security strip that the identifier is probably linked to the IDs, the white list of people who are allowed in, and you are not on said white list. So
but I've got my fakey ID that Jan made for us.
You
so I
do
think that's all
indeed.
Good. Yeah, because I heard they use those. So
you do. So he runs his thumb, and it kind of lets him through. When you run your thumb, it does not turn green; it turns red. And he stops like, oh, there seems to be an issue with the system. Maybe try again.
oh yes, of course, and I'll press again on it.
So you press again, and it turns red. And those ball turrets that were up on the ceiling
Mhm.
from before, they kind of spin around, and there are short, fat gun barrels on them that are now trained on you. And
Can we hear what's going on in that room?
yes, yeah, you can hear through your comms everything that's going on
There's
around
something
him.
wrong?
I'll say, I have forgotten to use my access that is designed for coming here. I am so sorry. I apologize.
Oh, that's fine, sir. Do you? He seems very nervous. Like this does not happen an awful lot.
Right.
Perhaps you could put in the new information quickly, sir.
Oh, and I'll say yes. I will require a very quick access to your board, to like the keyboard. Like I kind of.
Oh, right.
Do I see if there's cameras on the guns, or are they just coming out and like auto train on me?
You, without a perception roll, you don't see any now. There's no obvious cameras.
Right. Okay. So I want to basically get him to come back through where I am, and away from the guns.
Okay, cool. So here's the deal in the corridor. There's the door that you came through, which is closed behind you. Then there's a strip that he's on the other side of, and you're like, "Hey, man, I need access." And he's like, "Oh, sure." And so he's walking towards the strip, and then at the last minute, he kind of stops just before crossing the border of that strip, and like something like it just occurred to him, and he says, "Oh, actually, sir, I'm not supposed to cross over the perimeter if there's an incident." Now he's referring to it as an incident.
Oh, like he can't cross back this way.
Like right.
I'll say, well, then do you mind if I touch this then to access my system to correct the error?
So he's like looking up at the ball turrets and backing towards the elevator. He's like, no, not at all. You access away, and please enter your new information. I believe you have about 12 seconds left.
Okay. I'm gonna go over.
12 seconds.
Yeah.
Wait, let me get a
5
12-second
minutes.
timer up.
Oh God, no. So
And hexes.
can you describe what he went through? Like when he put his son through, is it a physical door that opened? Was it an energy field? Like what does he pass through?
You don't actually physically see anything except this just kind of red strip across the floor, like a painted line.
Right.
There doesn't seem to be any wall there or a field or anything. It's just a reminder line.
Reminder.
I'm gonna start using that term at school. This is your reminder line. Don't.
Sadly, my avatar does not have that. I do have lock picking. That's the closest thing I have. Or traps. Would either of those help me in any way?
So you're trying to hack this access point to accept your identity. Is that right?
Yeah, to basically and like to set any identity, like as like gross as possible, right? Not even like
So brute force hack. Okay.
Yeah.
Alphonse has
it, but that's let's back out.
You at least know the procedures. So let's go with IQ -6 again.
It's a 6.
I have every confidence, Bill.
No. But I have luck.
Oh, you do have luck. That is true.
Yeah. That seems like a great time to use my luck. Oh. Got 2 1s on the table. Shit, I rolled a 6. 8. That is the worst. These are my first 2 dice, and the other one fell off, and I'm like, oh, I get it. And it was like, no.
No, bastard.
So no, I didn't. I'm like, oh, well, I can't get through this system. All right, then I'm gonna walk back up and say, like, okay, I've done it. I'm gonna walk back up and get ready to like run my thumb on the thing again.
Okay.
Can we pause for a second while we do something
Absolutely.
parallel?
Oh, sure. Yeah. You're right. So,
Excellent moment to pause.
Yeah.
So while that's going on,
maybe we could
right,
save your ass. Maybe.
What are the 3 of you doing down below?
So we're just with like the tour guide, right?
Correct, Alex. Yeah.
And we haven't seen any. It doesn't seem to be any guns or anything down here.
Yeah, you have strange. You haven't seen even the most rudimentary security.
How did he make the elevator work?
He used his thumbprint.
Awesome.
But did he stuck his avatar thumb up on the
Right.
thingy, and it did the thingy.
Yep.
Did he speak to it in any way or tell it what level to go to?
He entered the number on a keypad. So basically, swiped his thumb, pressed 57, and the elevator went down.
Now in our now I know you talked about logging out. Is it like in like World of Warcraft or something where if you log out, your avatar stays there for a certain amount of time?
Yeah. No. If you log out, your avatar immediately
Disappears.
pops out.
No.
And then if you log back in, you can choose to either log in where you left off or whatever other access points you have.
So we can't beat him over the head and just use his thumb. Not that I would do that.
We don't.
Because if I knock him out, he disappears, and we can't use his thumb.
Right. Yeah. If he's unconscious,
We
you
can't
would
hear
have
you, Tyler.
to drag him.
How much time elapsed
God damn it.
when he put his thumbprint on and when he entered the number in the keypad?
Not long, just seconds.
All right, so we got to get him to put his thumb on the pad, and then we disable him and enter 103.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then we can't get back up again.
That is true.
I'm gonna in our comms silently to Jam, well, to the group, but to Jam specifically. Yeah. Perhaps you should say you have another number that is lucky or something to get him to take us to the elevator to ask for a different level. Say you don't like 57.
I'd like to see another level.
So when you say that, he's got his finger up to his temple, which seems to be a common affectation for people. He says, "Oh, of course. If you just give me one moment, there seems to be an incident."
Really?
An incident?
Incident?
I thought this was a secure facility.
I apologize. I misspoke. Not an incident per se, just some paperwork not being in order. I'm sure the facility will unlock momentarily.
It's
but
locked.
as you can see, we have robust security procedures in place, so that if there's even the slightest little hiccup, everything locks down and the elevator will now not
Everyone
work.
is stuck exactly where they are.
Exactly. But that's a good thing.
It does not seem like a good thing.
That doesn't
I'm gonna like
seem
be
like
standing kind of like in front of her and like get kind of like super tall as I can and seem like really pissed.
I am. He definitely seems intimidated.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is just a momentarily lapse. It never happens.
Seems unacceptable that you would keep the data secure at risk for other customers. Because we are now at risk ourselves.
I do apologize. I would be happy to authorize a 5% discount on whatever package you ultimately choose.
I'm going to look over at the lawyer.
I'm just gonna be very disappointed.
Honestly, if it never happens, never doesn't mean what you think it means. Because it's happening now.
It is happening now, and my apologies.
Seems to me this is worth more than 5%. But
It's
I'm just a
5.
bodyguard.
And I'm listening to what's going on upstairs. Is anything going on upstairs? Where are we at in their dialogue?
I believe Bill was just about to walk towards the pad and try his thumb for a third time.
Hex,
You
make
want
sure you
me
act
down
like
here.
this is a huge inconvenience to you. Get angry.
This is unacceptable. Can you, if it's paperwork, surely you can wait on your paperwork to get actual potential clients with real credit out of your lockbox. We aren't data. You're not supposed to keep us locked in here.
He's basically just fawning at this point, and he is very apologetic. He looks around, sort of conspiratorially, and leans in to whisper to you softly, although you can both hear it because you're right there. He says, honestly, ma'am, I'm not entirely sure what's happening up top. All I know is there's been some problem in the facility. It's being quickly and efficiently taken care of. But in the meantime, we need to freeze certain systems in place to ensure the safety of everyone's data.
When he says he doesn't know what's happening, I'm going to go walk over to like the door and like plant myself in front of it. Like I'm about ready to like take on anything that comes through it. Like I'm protecting them all.
Okay. And that seems to make him nervous. He's sort of, oh, I'm sure that's not necessary. There's no reason to think there will be any sort of confrontation.
I am not sure.
Hex, is it whatever you're doing up there? Hex, is it whatever you're doing up there that's got us locked in down here?
Apparently, my thumbprint does not work. Your ID was imperfect.
Oops.
Wow.
My ID isn't your thumbprint.
No, the ones that you made for us. It didn't get me through. This is going to get messy.
Are you in imminent danger?
I can always jack out. So no. But there are guns on me. I'm about to try my thumb again.
Well, if it didn't work before, it's not going to work now.
How long is a round?
A round in GURPS is 1 second.
1 second?
1 second.
For the 3 seconds I'll take to walk back to the area where my thumb would go, I am going to evaluate
Your life choices.
The gun ports.
Okay.
And when I get up to the thing where I would be putting my thumb on it, because I figure those are a bigger threat than anything, I am going to do an dual weapon attack with shuriken
Very nice.
on the turrets. And
So there's kind of like a left and a right turret. You're gonna have to pick one.
well, like with dual weapon attack, I can target separate foes. So I'm basically one each.
Oh, I see. You're gonna
You have
do
to
a.
put your hands in.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm taking the neg 4 for each attack.
Fair enough.
I am ambidextrous, so my
Oh.
offhand will not suffer a further neg 4.
Cool.
And since I've evaluated for 3 seconds, that gives me a +3.
Mm.
So I'm at -1.
Yep, sounds right.
GURPS math good.
Your GURPS math is good. Now, sometimes there would be a range penalty in there, but because the corridor is so kind of cramped and enclosed, it's right there next to you, so
All
that
right.
does not come into play. All right,
Excellent.
shit's getting
So
real.
This will be for the one on the left.
Okay, poor Hex.
All modifiers. I am now going against a 15.
Okay,
5, 9, 10. Okay, so by 5.
very good.
And the one on the right is a 9, so by 6.
Cool.
Nice.
So they don't get a dodge, of course. They're just objects, and then they can't move anywhere. So you basically stride forward towards the thumb pad, and then at the last minute, just shoot these shuriken screaming at the guns.
Yes.
Nice. Roll damage, please.
So it's 1d with a 2 in parens after it.
Oh, good. That is because I was worried you're not going to penetrate their armor. They have 10 points of armor. Oh, I apologize. They have 8 points of armor, but
Okay.
your the 2 means it's an armor divisor of half. So basically, their 8 becomes a 4.
Ooh, we'll see what
You-
happens.
Yeah, you're
I
probably
could
not
do
gonna.
damage.
You what now?
I could do damage.
Yes.
I rolled a 4 and a 3.
All right. So that will
Not do anything.
not do anything. Yeah, we're gonna have to beef up them shuriken at some point.
Yeah, well, I can, if I live, I can see where I might see the point.
Now those points come into play.
And now.
So it looks great. Like your form is perfect. You shoot these 2 shuriken. They hit the armor on these things, but they're they're pretty heavily shuriken are mostly for unarmored, just human types, fleshy. So yeah, needless to say, your super cool ninja shuriken unfortunately bounce off both targets. And now Henry doesn't know what to do because you just like whipped out these things, and so he's like so he's like backing towards the elevator and running his thumb on the thing, but the elevator is not opening because everything's on lockdown.
Did we get
I'll
the
just basically, I'll say, I have hit the gun turrets, but done no damage.
Gun turrets.
And then they are gonna fire at you
That's awesome.
It's that kind of party now.
because that's how they do. So the one on the left, I keep forgetting when I turn my head, you can't hear me. The one on the left misses. The one on the right potentially hits.
Oh.
Unless you
Attempt to
dodge.
Dodge.
Yeah.
So I have a dodge of 12. And I rolled a 12.
Perfect.
Nice.
So up to this point, this building has just been quiet and serene, and these guards are just kind of hey. And then next thing you know, there's machine gun fire. There's just like pounding of da-da-da-da-da. And luckily you are Hex, and you're a combatant, and you manage to get out of the way. But it completely shreds a trough up the floor, leaving these massive bullet holes. This is some serious hardware that you're up against. But it all missed you. You take no damage. The other 3 of you hear very clearly in your comms the unmistakable sound of high caliber, high rate of fire machine guns.
Okay. Can we hear it like down the elevator shaft too?
You cannot. You can only hear it through your comms. If you did not have your comms, you would have no idea that there was gunfire going on up there.
Are there any voices that are going with it, either Hex's or Alex Frangipanis?
Henry does not seem to be saying anything.
Does Alex
I'm
seem to react
contemplating.
to the sound of gunfire? Since he was in communications with somebody.
Right. So he's sort of continuing the conversation, being very apologetic. Then he gets that weird look, like incoming message from the big giant head, and he starts talking. Like you can see his jaw moving, even though he's not audibly. So he's in communication with somebody.
So our jaws move when we're doing that stuff.
His does, because he's kind of an amateur and not real good at it. You guys, you don't have to necessarily.
Did anyone take lip reading?
I swear someone did.
I did not.
I could be thinking of it different. No, I don't see any lip reading.
No, I don't see that.
Nope. We are son lip reading.
All right.
Is there any
Can
other
I-
way out of this? I would
Is there-
say. Is there
is
any other way out of here, Alex?
There, apart from the elevator shaft, there is actually no way. But the paperwork incident seems to have escalated somewhat, and I think
What,
we're
it's
actually
now cardboard work?
we're
So I have a question real quick before we do anything.
absolutely.
So, okay, can I use a skill that I might have developed as in my meat suit in here if it's like a visual skill? Because I assume, like, I work with middle schoolers. I assume they probably try and like communicate with each other through technology like this all the time in the middle of class.
Sure.
So I probably have developed kind of a keen eye for being like, hey, and trying to and seeing like what they're saying or seeing if two of them are talking together or something.
Okay, I'll buy that. I'll go
Okay.
along with that. Yeah.
Okay, so can I roll like intelligence with like less of a disad on that or something? Or perception or
Sure, it'll still be pretty tough, but not as tough. So
Yeah.
we'll give you -4 instead of -6.
okay, on intelligence.
And so you're trying to determine what it is that Alex is saying?
Yeah, just about like I mean, I'm probably not going to get every word, but I'd probably notice some basic
Sure.
stuff. So my IQ is 13. So I'd be, you said -4.
Yeah, so you need a 9 or less.
4, 5. Nope, totally didn't make it. Totally didn't make it at all.
Oh.
I got 11.
It sounded like you were on the way.
I know.
Although, do you have luck?
I don't want to spend it on that.
Fair enough.
I don't care. I don't care what he's saying that much.
Fair enough. Yeah, so he's just moving his jaw, and you can't quite make out. You do know he seems pretty nervous. He seems scared. He's not like, this is not a normal thing for him.
Right.
Right. He's definitely out of his depth.
I'm gonna notice that then, and like as a bodyguard probably would. You're very nervous and upset. What is happening upstairs?
Ooh. Well, if you're just gonna flat out ask him,
Oh, sure.
he's kind of taken aback, but he's looking for any port in a storm, and you seem to know what you're doing and what you're talking about. So you're the port.
Yep.
He says he's kind of whispering like there's gunfire up in the lobby. Like the cannons are going off. The cannons have never gone off. I didn't sign up for this.
Cannons.
He's clearly unhinged. Like,
Alex, this may very well be an attack on my client. You need to get us out of here now.
Absolutely.
What? Who is your client?
And I'll
my
activate my
God.
armor.
Oh.
You activate your what?
Armor.
My armor. My
Nice.
Iron Man suit.
So what does that look like? I'm dying to know.
Have you seen Infinity War?
I've not, sadly.
Go watch that.
Have you? Well, go watch that and then come back and we'll figure this out. His suit. He switched to the nanotech suit,
Okay.
and it basically comes out of his pores,
Nice.
and it forms the Iron Man suit around him.
Cool.
It's pretty
So-
badass. It's been in the comics for a while.
It comes out.
God damn it, Bill!
Creepy.
It's stored in his bones, I think, in the comics.
In the comics, yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And
Okay,
it
that's
comes out.
That is weird.
That's not
Yeah.
how it is in the movie, but that is how it is in the comics.
They didn't really explain it in the movie,
Yes, they did.
did they?
Yes, it's housed. It's in the housing around.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's where it started.
There we go.
So
I'm gonna
So
turn
if
to
there's danger,
Alex.
yes.
hey, if there's danger above, Wouldn't it be wiser for us to go further down?
I agree. This is a good idea. Alex, can you get us
Can
lower?
we
We'll be
climb
safer.
down through the? Can we climb down further? If there's gunfire at the top level, we should be as far away from it as possible. Can we climb down the elevator shaft?
Climb down? What are you
I'm
saying?
asking Alex.
I mean,
Claude, you've heard of climbing.
I've heard of climbing.
Come on, Alex. You've seen Star Trek. Where are the Jeffries tubes?
I think I can open the elevator maintenance hatch, maybe.
Excellent.
But I mean, I've never been in the shaft of the elevator. I'm not. So he starts like he now has a mission, something to focus on. So he turns to the elevator and he starts trying to get the panel to at least open the doors for him.
Nice job, Tyler.
Communicate with our fellows and say, I'm just asking an open com. So do we go up or down?
If you can get to 103, I will keep them occupied here.
Could be doing ninja flips and shit all
We've
over.
been working together for a while. Should I believe him based on?
Probably, yeah. I mean, you've seen him, yeah. So speaking of, it's actually
just think
Hex.
about what I did last session.
Especially if they think that he's the attack. They're not worried about us.
Mm-mm.
All right.
So Hex, what are you doing? It is actually your turn.
I am going to. I'm assuming the guns aren't out of ammo.
The guns are not out of ammo, correct?
What is really quickly? What does Harry look like he's doing?
What is what?
Now. Harry look like he's doing.
Parry is. Well, actually, parry won't help you here because you can't parry both.
No, I'm sorry. What does Harry look like he's doing?
The guy.
What is this?
Oh, my bad. Harry.
Henry. Sorry.
Henry has gone from being extremely helpful and friendly to just being terrified of you.
Their security sucks.
Like
They've
he is
never had to
just-
do this before.
He wants to get out of there, but he's trapped.
Right. I am going to, because I think it will be informative to me as what else I am facing, and I'll hope that I can stay out of gunfire's range way, is I would like to throw a shuriken at Henry.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, Henry.
Oh, Henry.
Just hit him in the leg and y'all get down. I'm saving you.
So I have a 16. Is there modifiers?
Nope. No. I mean, the quarter is so short that there's no range. Where's your katana? You have? Is it like collapsible, or is it just always a solid full size katana?
That's a great question. I think it is collapsed. I think the blade appears. So,
Okay. Nice.
It's
It's like
like
a Highlander.
Yeah.
Cool.
They don't have swords and then suddenly swords.
They have
Surprise.
swords. Yeah. Actually, it's really interesting because I think there was a couple things I was thinking of buying that I kind of want to have appear out of things. So it's almost like totems and then they appear. So I figure he has that kind of thing. It might even just be, looks like the grip.
Okay.
Like on his belt, it just reaches and.
Cool.
So I rolled 10, so by 6.
Being more or less a non-combatant, he does not dodge. We trying to hit him anywhere particular? No, you just center mass. Yeah.
So my thing though is if I hit him, that's great and all, because I'd like to stop communication. But I'm interested to see what happens to the shuriken as it passes over the line of demarcation.
I see. So you throw the shuriken. It's heading directly for him, and you are confident that it's going to strike him in the torso. And sure enough, when it crosses that red line, it just sort of disintegrates into this shower of sparks from some unseen force field, energy field, that kind of thing. And of course, the guns are on the other side of said, of said field. So that was your turn. His turn is to basically just virtually soil himself and like, oh, like what's happening here? Like he's just losing it. The guns are gonna get another round at you. Ooh, that was terrible. So we got 1 miss and 1 critical hit. So you can't, you can't actually dodge that.
I'll just take that.
So with 3d damage, and I rolled another critical, so it's actually 5. Could have been much worse. You take 5 points of damage. I don't even think that gets through your armor, does it?
No, I've got. So the way my armor is written, folks at home, is a DR 18/7. So
That's right. So 18/7, the first number is against piercing and cutting attacks. So piercing is basically firearms and blades for cutting. And then 7 against everything else, which is, you know, lead pipes and whatnot. So 18 points. Basically, this one random bullet happened to graze your shoulder, but it completely bounced off the armor. You probably didn't even notice you got hit.
Great.
So nice. You're still up. The guns are firing. This little corridor is starting to kind of fill with smoke, and that's just freaking Henry out even more. So down below, they're trying to get the elevator going. So we'll just give you another turn.
Is this basically you walked through a door? There's like some desk or something. Like, is there any cover at all? Anything I can grab? Anything I can jump behind?
There's a small counter that all the sensors rest on, like the thumb thing and the eye. It's only like if you were to lay flat, it wouldn't cover your whole body, but if you like crunch up a little bit, maybe you could fit behind.
I can stand on top of it.
You could stand on top of it, yeah.
What does this ceiling look like?
Seems to be made of the same metal as the floor and the walls. Just this like amorphous gray paneling. You can't actually tell if it's solid or just some kind of facade.
Interesting. Knowing that people tend to think of what they make in virtual spaces like they think of the real world, I'm going to literally roll the dice on the fact that they've done some shit drop ceiling because of how crappy the rest of the building is. And I'm going to try to go up through the roof.
All right, fair enough. Fingers crossed.
What would you like me to roll for that?
Acrobatics seems nice, right?
Yeah, I got that.
Bam.
It's by 5.
By 5. So you basically just launch yourself at the ceiling and hope for the best?
Yep.
Is that the deal?
Yep.
So you jump up there, feet first, in some kind of cool acrobatic, and your boots hit the thing. Doesn't seem like it's going to give way. And for just a second, you're like, oh, crap, this is just all solid. But then it bursts forth and deposits you up in this sort of ceiling area between the two levels, between the first floor and the next floor up. So you're in this like weird crawl space.
13th and a half floor.
Completely dark. So Henry's shouting from down below. He's like, "Hey, where are you going? What's happening?
Where you going, man?" I'm just gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, and then you can deal with the other people.
Okay.
Figure out what I do. My intent is to move towards where the guns and whatnot are.
Okay.
I'll grab one of the crappy ceiling tiles. When I get close to where I figure that energy barrier is, I'm going to throw the tile in front of me. Again, thinking maybe they didn't have it go all the way through the ceiling, and I can somehow get over the top.
Interesting.
And if that works, then I'll do other stuff. If not, I'm in the ceiling.
Okay, nice. I like it. So the guns will get one last shot at you on the turn where you broke into the ceiling.
Right. Yeah.
Then after that, they won't be able to see you anymore, so they'll be firing blind. So the again, one hit. So if you can dodge, please. Just kind of roll to the side.
I rolled a 13 and I have a 12. I did not
Missed by
dodge.
1. No big. Ooh, that's better. That does 14 points of damage. So much higher, but still
Yeah.
not enough to
It
penetrate.
helps push me up into the ceiling.
So you definitely feel rounds impacting on your armor, but you know that it doesn't get through.
Okay.
And then you start crawling towards the demarcation and doing all that. So meanwhile, down below, Alex has managed to get the elevator doors open, and there's a hatch now on the bottom of the elevator that just sort of drops out into the shaft. But he's basically sitting up against the wall of the elevator. He feels like his part is done. Like he's opened the hatch. There you go. And he's checking out. It's like, there you go. The hatch is open, and the shaft just drop. Like you can't see the bottom at all. It just goes and goes and goes.
When the situation above is concluded, you will come down and find us.
Oh, yes. Well, we will definitely send people down to let you know that everything is clear. Again, I'm very sorry for all the confusion.
You'll send people down to let us know that everything is clear.
I'm sorry. Is that not acceptable?
You will come and get us and bring us up and escort us to a place of safety, possibly not your facility.
So he at least gets off his ass and stands and kind of brushes off his suit and regains a little bit of his composure. Yes, yeah, of course, I will do that. Yes, I will wait for the all clear, and then I will come down to escort you back to the lobby.
Right.
And good news, I think we can probably get that discount up to 10%.
Great. Good work.
So, who's going in the hole?
I will. I'll go down.
Are you flying?
How
Yeah,
big
I'm
is
gonna
the
fly.
shaft? How wide is the shaft?
It's about picture an elevator that holds 8 people comfortably. It's about that.
I'm just gonna float down.
That wide. Oh.
Always be closing. Good job, Alex.
he learned. He knows his lesson. Nice. So Jam and Dr. Discord sort of jump through the hole and start floating down the shaft, flying under their own power, and each of the levels has a nice painted number on the side, so you keep track of where you're going. And you're heading to 103. Is that right?
Yep, down
Yeah.
to 103.
That
Nice.
should take very little time to get to.
Right. Yeah. Aegis, what are you doing?
That's a great question.
Is there a ladder?
I'm gonna be looking down the hole.
There's
Like you
not
can't
a
hear
ladder.
anything, but there's like the armor has this giant like sigh movement. There's no sound that goes with it, and Alex is probably too distracted to notice. But she's like, God damn it!
Wait a minute.
Yeah, how far is it from the opening to like the side of the shaft?
There's probably 5 feet
I
on either
totally
side.
missed
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so I'm gonna drop down and like swing and grab. Is it completely smooth, or is there like a
No, there's
ladder?
all kinds of handholds, and yeah.
Okay.
If you're going to climb, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start climbing down.
Let's
Just randomly
see.
looking sort of annoyed over at my shoulder at the ones who are flying.
Of course, I say that, but you don't have a climbing skill.
Oh.
So we're going to
Wait.
go for default.
Does it make noise? What she's doing, does it make noise?
It clangs a little bit. It's kind of metal on metal, but not a lot of noise.
Are you gonna complain about it?
Me? About the noise?
I'm like, what are you doing? I will look and see where is my bodyguard.
Well, your bodyguard doesn't fly, so
Bodyguard needs some jets on that thing.
How heavy is she?
She's just super heavy.
yeah, I am incredibly heavy.
Yeah.
12 feet high metals. Yeah,
Oh Jesus!
really fucking big.
Right. Well, I can lift Discord, but I'm not sure I can lift you.
This is why I'm climbing.
All right.
So the two of you will get there obviously before, but it's a pretty easy climb. So let's see. Dex -4 is the default for climbing. So you're once again our favorite number, 9 or less.
Time to lift. All right, I did it.
Nice.
3, 4, so 8.
Perfect. Perfect. So you do not fall to your death down the infinite elevator shaft of doom.
Excellent.
You instead clamber down nimbly like a howler monkey.
That would have been amazing if Hex was up there with all the guns and I died.
Couldn't climb. Oh well.
Oh well.
Now, what happens if you're falling and you just log out mid-fall?
There you go.
Log out! Log out!
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Well, apparently nothing terrible, because that's what people do at the Vertigogo.
That's true.
They jump off the top
Oh yeah.
for a thrill ride, and then apparently log out before they splat.
That's true.
Oh.
The only problem that would be is if they log in and choose where they left instead of
Right.
right, because then they're just gonna sploosh.
That'd be bad.
That would be bad.
I bet that happens once in a while, and everyone's like, "God, that idiot, stupid."
Clean up aisle 3.
Yeah.
So let's see. So Jam and Dr. Discord, you will get to the 103 doors a few seconds before, or a few minutes before Aegis. So what would you like to do once you reach there?
I'm going to start working
Open
on
the door.
opening the door. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how about let's see, how about a strength check to get that bad boy open?
Yeah.
Is there
Good thing you can fly.
Well, good thing I have miniature jaws of life in my suit to open this door with.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right? That's how Gizmos works, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I have this thing. I don't know what I would roll for it, but
I don't believe for Gizmos, we were just working out this advantage like literally a half hour before the game. So I'll read up a little more, but as far as I know, there's no roll involved. It's just, hey, I've got this thing. So Dr. Discord rummages around a little bit and pulls out these little jaws of life, sticks them in the door. It whirs and it just opens the door for him.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
convenient.
Right?
it's what I do.
Do you hover in the elevator shaft and wait for Aegis, or do you head on in, assuming she'll bring up the rear?
I think we've split the party enough, and I'll wait.
Okay, fair enough. So the two of you hover. Aegis, you make it down pretty quickly, and all
We'll
three.
look in while she's hovering.
Oh, sure. It's dark, of course, but one assumes you have lights and things on your armor and stuff.
Yes.
So you can see a short corridor, much like up above,
Oh, excuse me.
and the room opens up, but it doesn't have that retro, like spinny tape look to it. They're modern computers. They're massive banks. They clearly hold just untold numbers of quadribytes, if that's even a thing. Lots of data is where I'm going with that. And there's 2 access stations with like input keyboards and
Lit monitors?
monitors. Yeah.
But are the monitors on?
Yes, everything's active, humming, and lit up.
Any sign of, I don't know, security cameras within the space? I mean, that would be counter to security from the point of view of the client's data, but who knows what people want?
Right. Give me a perception roll.
I make it by 3.
There are cameras here. There's like 4 in the room, which is kind of overkill for the size of room that we're dealing with here. So there's a lot of cameras. and there's a demarcation strip on the floor, like there is in the corridor up above at the security station. And that seems to you don't see any ball turrets for one, so that's a good thing. So just the cameras and the strip.
I'm still climbing.
While Aegis
You're
is
there.
climbing down,
Oh.
I'm going to. It's kind of an odd thing. I'm going to turn the camouflage on my suit to non-reflective.
Okay.
Nice.
Just so you don't stand out as much.
Yeah, it has the effect of making me dark
Okay. So you won't be
and
stealthy.
matte.
Cool.
Exactly. I can't make my head I can't do that to my head, but it makes me less conspicuous.
Cool.
It makes me essentially a hand and a head and some shoes.
Nice. So you kind of shimmer a little bit, and then your colors change, and you kind of blend a bit into the shadow, and are harder to see than you were a moment before. And Aegis is almost here. Is there anything you want to do, Dr. Discord, before her arrival, her imminent arrival?
I'm gonna start looking for a terminal or something where we can pull the data,
Okay.
the file that we're looking for,
A couple of those.
and then I'm gonna start working on that while Aegis shows up.
So you start walking down the corridor, but remember that there's a strip on the floor that could be bad. And then Aegis, you're there as well. So everyone is now in this little corridor.
Yeah.
Does the strip go up the walls?
It does not. It's only painted on the floor.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I think the strip is just there as a reminder of where it is, rather than an actual
Trigger, yeah.
trigger for it.
So who's going over it first?
Actually, you know what? I don't know what that strip did upstairs.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
I mean, that's a pretty
so
good guess, though. Because we saw the strip when we walked by, and then we heard and then we know there's turrets.
Are there
Agreed.
turrets? Are there turrets down here that we can see?
You actually do not see any turrets.
Well, then, yeah, I'm going to walk right across it.
All right. Because why not?
Because I'm overconfident. Whatever. It's just a painted line on the floor. There's no turrets here for it to activate.
Oh, damn. All right. I like it.
Pretty sure I'm about to get vaporized.
Good thing we saved you last episode for you to die in this episode.
So Dr. Discord is going first, and he strides down this short corridor and walks across the strip. And let's see. I will say if you make a perception roll, then you will get a chance to dodge.
Oh.
Otherwise, something just straight out happens and you have no
Gotcha.
chance to react to it.
All right. I got a perception of 13. That's a 9.
Nice. Okay.
513. Yeah.
So literally just as your foot is about to pass this thing, you notice this hum of energy in your ears, and it occurs to you that there might be something happening. So you now get to dodge the energy field that is popping up as you cross the barrier.
Okay, and dodge is just dex.
Dodge is, let's see, what is your?
Oh,
dodge?
I see it. There it is. Dodge 8.
Yours is 8.
Oh,
That's not great.
I just want to show everybody.
Oh,
Seven.
7.
Very nice.
Nice.
I should get a second camera and point it down at my dice.
So had you made it by 2 or more, I would have let you dodge forward and be on the other side, but because you just sort of squeak by, I'm gonna say you can dodge and not take damage, but
I jump back.
Yeah, exactly. You jump back like whoa.
All right. I will jump back from the wall of vaporization.
I'm gonna pull out my shield, and it kind of like appears.
That's interesting.
Nice.
So it's just a static energy field. It just
Seems to be, yeah.
I guess I'm the tankiest of the tanks.
You are
I wonder
indeed.
if
Yeah.
it's disruptible.
Oh.
I think we're about to find out.
So have my shield, and I'm just gonna like step over that line, like ready.
Shield first.
Yeah.
Now it's an energy shield, right? It's not purely physical.
Right. It's both. It's got
Okay.
Yeah. There's parts of it that are metal, and then like in
Right.
between.
Cool. So let's see. Your shield is massive,
Mm-hmm.
so you got that going for you. How about roll a block?
Okay.
That seems the most applicable.
And block is 10.
10, yeah.
Yes. Okay. 5, 6.
Very
Yeah.
nice. So you stride forward with your shield, and you cross this line, and there's just this massive flash of light as the energy field and the field of your shield are kind of duking it out and battling it back and forth. And it seems like your shield wins because you walk across the line and are not fried or take any damage.
Nice.
And you no longer hear that humming in your noise.
Okay.
In your ears, rather. So yeah, well done. The shield seems down for sure.
Nice work, Aegis.
So as the three of you head towards the computer console, let's go back to Hex. So you're up in between in this crawl space. You've got the ceiling tile. You've managed to like pull one up. And what is it you're doing with it now?
So when I get up to where I figure I'm close to where the line of death is,
Yeah.
I want to throw it across to see if it extends above the ceiling line.
Gotcha. So as luck would have it, or lowest bidder, you throw you throw the tile, and it does indeed just skip across the crawl space. The field does not seem to extend beyond the physical boundaries of the corridor.
Excellent. My intent then is to go forward what I would estimate to be close to where Henry is.
Okay.
And come back down through. So I'm on the safe side of the guns and next to my good friend.
Now the guns do swivel, right? They're on turrets. Okay. So, okay. I just want you to be aware.
I don't know like how far down or back or I don't know how.
Right. Cool. So you managed to do that. So you drop down next to Henry, who is completely taken aback by that. He squeals a little bit. The guns swing backwards, but they do in fact seem to have a blind spot, and you're in it. So they are not able to go back far enough to target you. So now it's just you and Henry by the elevator.
So I'll hold him with my arm around his neck and tell him to open the elevator.
So he starts this like nervous kind of chatter, like, "Well, I'm not even sure if I got it because everything's on lockdown, but but I'll try," because he sees. Well, he can't see your eyes, right?
No. But
that's actually worse. So he's like, "Yeah, let me just try that." So he starts dicking around with the elevator. And manages to get the door open. So there are, So there's two elevators. You apparently have gone into the other door from the thing. That way, you're not in, unless you want to be in the same shaft. Basically, I guess what you're.
I like that there's only one elevator, and I don't know that it's not up there. It's not up.
Fair enough. So he gets the doors open, but there's no elevator car there. And when you look way down, like 50 levels or more, you can just make out the glint of the top of the elevator car stuck in the shaft somehow.
All right, I will then spin him around so he can see that it's just a giant hole.
Okay.
And I will tell him, you should log out, and I'll shove him down the shaft.
So there's that there's that 1 second where of what do you mean? And then of course he's free falling, and he gets to about level 35 40 before he manages to have the wherewithal, but he does in fact res out and does not splat against the top of the elevator.
Then I'll say, I have secured the elevator. And I'm going to basically wait to see if anybody else pours into this space.
Okay, nice. So you're rear guard.
I'm on the good side of the guns.
Right. Cool. So Hex got your back. So the three of you are down in this corridor. I know it's 3:30, so wrap up in just a few minutes. So you head towards the access panels, right? The keyboards?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm going to use my flail, and I'm going to walk around because I can't access that stuff. While they do that, I'm going to bash the cameras
Okay.
in the room so nobody can see what we're doing.
Nice. So obviously you don't need to roll for that. You just walk
12 feet
around
tall.
because you're 12 feet tall and smash those off the wall. Who's putting in the number?
Depends on what it needs.
It seems to be just a glowing DOS prompt looking for some kind of long pin number.
All right, I'll enter it.
You want to do it, or you
Yeah.
want me to do it?
I'll do it.
You do it.
I have a pretty solid computer operations skill.
Good. I haven't got-
You're right. Why not? If you got the skill, use it.
I have it at a 15 and I rolled a 13.
Could have been worse. An 18 would have been amusing.
18 is just an auto fail, right?
18, actually 17 is auto fail. 18 is critical fail. So
Okay.
not only do you fail, but you fail particularly badly. But that's okay. That does not happen. Due to your diligent years of HR skill, you're able to quickly 10 key this number in, and the screen prompt changes to kind of a welcome green glow, and there's just this like almost like the old paperclip icon from Word, like this little helper program.
You appear to be trying to steal a file. How can I help you?
It's Clippy.
You appear to be trying to commit corporate espionage.
That thing had like 7 or 8 different skins that they came up with for it at one point. I
Yeah.
had all kinds of different Clippies at different weeks.
So he it speaks to you and says, "Hello, how may I help you today?"
I need to download a file.
And is it the file that you've entered the information for?
Yes.
And would you like that as hard copy or sent somewhere?
Hard copy, please.
So it's words a little bit and out from one of the many outlets there pops a little tiny like stick, like a USB kind
All right.
of, which you assume whatever file is on. May I help you with anything else today?
Burn it down.
Delete the file.
No, because then they'll know exactly what it is. Can you delete the record of my downloading the file?
With the proper authorization, yes. And a little prompt comes up asking for a user ID and password.
Damn, we should have brought Alex with us. I'm trying to think of what I have that would apply that would work in this situation.
Let's see, Discord, what you got? Electronics repair. You could, I believe, use electronics repair to actually, instead of like hacking the system the normal way, you could use electronics repair to actually like open the machinery, gain access, and try to reroute shit. But it'll be at -4.
-4, so I need a 10 or less.
10 or less, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's
Why
do
not?
that. Let's just gut the thing. I got an 8.
That
Nice.
won't alert them to the
That's
fact
the
that
exact
you're always
opposite of my last roll.
So Dr. Discord is clearly into something over there. He's pulling wires out of things. He's rerouting all kinds of crazy things in an effort to do something. And when he's done, it looks the same. Everything's back where it goes. Everything's a place for everything, and everything in its place.
Yay.
So as far as you know, what is it you were trying to do? Destroy any record of...
Remove a record of what we accessed.
Cool. Yeah, so you're pretty confident that you were able to do that. So you've got the file on a dongle, and you have erased your traces.
It's the funniest word in technology.
Dongle.
Dongle. We should get out of here.
We should get out of here.
All right. I'm going to use my daily. And I'm going to create my little wormhole thing.
Oh, very nice.
Peace out, yo.
Is that just you, or is that all of us?
No, you guys can go through it.
That'll
What
just
about-
leave Hex.
What about
but
Hex, though?
he can presumably...
He can log out or run.
I can log out and then log back into the Nexus.
Yes, you
Right.
can.
You can just do that. I mean, we
Nice.
could all conceivably just do that. Just log out and log
Well,
back in.
see, the thing,
Oh.
I was thinking about that, and I would imagine we can't because we have the physical thing,
Yeah.
the representation of the data,
Yeah.
Oh.
get the representation back to where we need it. Because if you logged out, the representation would stay behind.
Yeah.
Because
That
you
makes-
don't.
That makes
'cause
sense.
There was
Yeah,
some
no,
weird
it's-
way I was trying to think you couldn't do that.
It's a mind wrap, but yes, I agree with you. It would be an issue.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't matter because the three of you are able to teleport away thanks to Aegis's cool power back to the Nexus. I assume is where you're opening the.
No, I don't want to. I don't
No.
want them to be able to track us at
Oh,
all.
good.
So
Okay,
I don't know
good.
what they have. So I'm gonna like somewhere near wherever that food court is, that we can then go. Walk 2 minutes to the food court and then
Cool.
go in that way.
Before we go through the wormhole, I will, over the comms, let Hex know we're about to do that and make sure he can get himself out.
Yeah.
I will meet you back at the Nexus.
We should stop at the food court and pick up something so the CCTV systems don't make it look like we just use it as a pass through all the time.
That's a good point.
I could go for some Sabaro.
Nice. So you
I'm gonna cut my hole in
Pharma.
reality,
Someone get pharma.
and then you guys have to go first.
right because it closes on you.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I hop through after they go through, assuming they go through.
Cool. Do you stay and watch until it closes, or do you just continue?
No,
on?
yeah, I feel like that's like my habit. Like I turn and just watch to make sure, because it's like it's 5 seconds or 4 seconds or
Yeah,
something.
it's actually 2D seconds, so it's
Oh.
different. Okay, cool. So I will assume from now on, unless you say otherwise, that Aegis is always watching until it closes.
Yeah, I kind of turn and I'm ready, and
Cool.
then chill out.
Seems like a good idea. So you all go through the portal. You wind up in this little alley that you use now and again. You watch to make sure that no one comes through. No one does, and the portal closes. So the three of you are safe and sound. Hex, what are you doing?
I'm going to log out.
Fair enough. So boom, you poof. You're back in your apartment. Your adrenaline's kind of pumped from all that's going on. And then what do you do?
I stop make a habitual check of the door on my room, since I just always assume like at any moment bad shit's gonna erupt in my neighborhood.
Sure, yeah, not a bad assumption.
Right. So I just like before I ever log in from my place, I always check, and then anytime I log out and I'm gonna log back in, I just check, because if I have to go somewhere else, I need to do that.
Okay, cool. So you creep over to the door. You look out the peephole. There's a couple of sketchy dudes in the corridor, like talking to one another, but they're not. They don't seem interested in your apartment. They're just kind of slowly walking by.
All right. Then I'll go back to my room, bolt my like room doors, and then I'll using my hard line, I'll go back in to the next.
Nice. So you all meet up. You have some Sbarro. You have the file with you, and when we pick up next time, we can hopefully get that back to Mortimer and pick up from there.
Nice.
So,
Yay, we did it.
Congratulations! Yeah,
Yay!
well done.
Awesome.
Was it fun? Yeah, did you have a good time?
Totally.
Absolutely.
Too easy?
No.
Too hard? Too okay? Good.
I feel like we were like feeling it out. We were very careful, but I love
Yeah.
that. Like I'm a very careful player, so I'm totally about that.
Indeed, it was.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
feeling our way through what this through what the world paradigm really is too, because
Mhm.
the world is kind of being invented as we go along. Unlike if you're playing a game, say in a fantasy setting, where you kind of have an idea that it's like the forest but with magic,
Right.
right?
Yeah, we're definitely building as we go.
It's been a while since I played any kind of heist game, so it takes a minute to get back into the mindset of how are we going to break into this place and get what we need out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dug the vibe where it's kind of like, hey, we're checking this out. We're being careful. I think we completely outclass these people. Yeah, fuck them. We're just gonna yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I just used the F word. I apologize.
That's okay. Totally fine.
Bill, you look shocked.
What?
Cool. Well, thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
If you're watching, check out happyjacks.org/schedule for all the games that we stream on this awesome Twitch channel. This great game is the Darknet, which we do once a month, and you can see that on the schedule. And if you really liked it, you can talk about it on our Discord channel and also our forum, which is happyjacks.org/forum or happyjacks.org/discord. You can join both those things. So thanks for hanging out, everyone. Bye, guys.
See ya.